Here we go.
Does anything go on there?
No. If we want it to, just let him know. Welcome back. How was that? How was it? From having the Fanatsu guys on, and how did that sort of like sink in for you? It's been a while since you were on the podcast.
Yeah.
Since then.
2 months.
2 months.
Is it longer?
It's been about a couple months, but before that, it was like a year.
Like 2 years. 2 years
at least.
I think I like the two thing.
How was your feelings about it?
It was pretty dope. I liked it a lot. It reminded me that I like to converse with people, and I like to share my knowledge with them or my perspective with them, and hear what they have to say, and pretty much just enlighten my mind on that there's other ways of thinking about a certain subject. And
for sure. And the subject on decolonization is a forever evolving and revolving subject.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's one topic I believe that we will never agree on. People will never ever agree on.
No.
It'll be many, many years, and as until people stop maybe coming here or migrating here, then the opinion would stay the same. But the opinion's gonna constantly change. The more people come back, say they grew up in the States and they come back to their roots, right? Just outlooks and perspectives are constantly going to evolve when it comes to the issue of decolonization.
I agree because people's views always change. I mean, even the proponents for independence, their views are gonna change on why they want independence. It might even start to sway back to, I don't even want independence anymore. Because so if you have a bunch of individuals changing their opinions, right, then essentially you have it's a living beast, or it's a living kind of creature. The whole movement's living, and it might change to a different type of political kind of,
and it could cause conflict within the subset itself, right?
Just like and you're gonna base that kind of like on religion. You have Christians. You start off all as the Jesus Christians or whatever. Then all of a sudden, 2,000 years later, you have the most sex. I don't know if it's the most sex in all of the religions.
Yeah, I think the Muslims are the most united, right?
Yeah, so I've never heard of. Is there other Muslim?
They do have radicals, and then they do have just a.
Is it just one? I don't know.
Normal? Yeah, I'm not.
I don't know. I have no idea. But anyways, but it seems like it's only one group of people, but who knows?
Yeah, and now the Christianity has like 50,000.
It's a lot. Like the Catholics, the biggest.
People are making up their own fucking sects.
It's how it is, but yeah, it seems that could be the way that colonization or decolonization could be heading. But I mean, it was great, man. It's great to be back on here, and feels.
I had to get you on sooner than later, though.
I mean,
back on sooner than I didn't want to wait a whole year. That's why when this started coming up, this issue of the marijuana bill and stuff started coming up, and you and I can go off on on text and chat for forever and a day just discussing certain things. I was like, fuck it, podcast.
Why not?
Might as well.
I don't think I've had my own show, or I don't think we've done this before.
No, never.
We've always been on the same. We're on the same side of the table, more or less.
Well, maybe the live show. Remember the live show? It fell through with Zach, so we're like, yeah, let's just talk about education then.
Oh, okay.
And we were talking about the Zika virus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was probably
we didn't talk with anybody.
No, we didn't.
Oh, it's been that long then, because I thought. Oh man, I thought it was just my virgin.
But
podcast.
We also remember we had Brandon and Keanu.
Yeah. Well, we were on we were kind of somewhat hosting that in a way.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I guess it's kind of the same, but yeah, it's been a while. That Hawaii episode was funny. That was a funny episode.
Yeah. And it's one thing that's really cool is to see how much Brandon has like taken himself.
Yeah, changed
how far he's taken himself over the last couple years. Yeah. Right? I don't even think like modeling was his like the thing that he wanted to go to. I don't know.
He was selling the clothes, but I don't think he was actually putting himself out there as the next. I don't know what's that French guy that models? I forgot his name. Armanio or whatever.
I don't know.
Whoever.
But yeah, I feel like he did make a great move by
Yeah.
moving to the Philippines.
Yeah, that's right. He's in the Philippines. Shout out to a lot and
Yeah,
and his
Brandon,
stuff.
doing
Good stuff,
doing
man.
fucking good for yourself out there,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. So when we go out to Philippines, we'll go and check him
Check
out.
him out.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure we're gonna have a lot.
I don't think our girlfriends will allow us to go to the Philippines
Huh?
together.
Oh, you know, sign the application form, the approval, lease for or approval for work.
Power
I mean,
of attorney. We have to give the power of attorney to Matt, and then an affidavit of everything that you do out there.
Put on a tracker. Put the tracker leash on and
They call it Life 360. It's an actual app.
what?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It's my
you-
sister has it.
what?
Mark, you have it, yeah?
That's a family thing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
So
I was
it's
thinking
it
psycho
keeps-
girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, it could, walk on that borderline of psycho girlfriend.
No.
But-
It's on the other side of the border, bro.
But I think
no wall needed.
I think even iPhones do it. So if
yeah,
you
Find
would-
My Friend.
Yeah, or
I heard
something like
about
that.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have that on
I don't know, dude. I don't feel comfortable with people knowing where.
I don't like it. I
Like,
don't subscribe. to that
Even when
either.
people check into places.
Yeah.
Like, damn, dude, why you? I mean, maybe check in when you leave, so you like kind of throw people off, right?
You know what? I think that.
Wait, I thought he was fucking here.
You know what that would work out on is if you are out on the town and you kind of like, you're by yourself, or you want to have a drink and nobody's out. Like, none of the usual suspects that you drink with
Yeah.
are hanging out with you, and you took a stroll there to go, so you're by yourself, and you just want to put, hey, I'm drinking here. If any of my extended network is
Wants to
around,
join
yeah,
you.
and they're kind of have that, and then I think that it kind of becomes convenient.
I know a lot of people do that on Twitter.
Oh,
they
hey, I'm
say,
drinking.
hey, I'm drinking at a bar. If you want to meet me, come.
Yeah, I don't do that. I
mean,
I sit there and I'd be like, let it spun.
Have you ever
1990s.
drank by yourself, like at a bar, like gone to the
Yeah.
bar by yourself without the intention of meeting
No?
somebody there?
Sure, yeah. Why not? You have to sit at the bar though. Sitting at a table is weird. For
Or
some-
standing is weird.
Just standing. Yeah, standing at the bar. Yeah, that I've done it. I've probably done it maybe once or a handful of times on Guam, and luckily there are fundraisers that go on, and it's usually after work when you had a long day of work, and
Yeah.
you just kind of want to not really tell anyone you're gonna go. You just kind of hang out at your neighborhood, bar,
hole.
wherever that is, if it's venue or
Yeah.
all these other places. But you just go in there. Venue's a good spot because you're gonna run into someone and you're not gonna feel so kind of out of place. So you just go to that spot and just have a drink and probably just that's it. Call your stroll to pick you up.
And there is a very good chance, like you said, you kind of make friends,
Yeah, you make
usual
friends.
suspects, and maybe the people who are always there with you.
Or
Yeah, and so I only found myself doing that when I was playing in the band, just because our life was at the bar after work. It was we just go to the bar, and it was our second home, to the point where we were cleaning up the bar with the bartender. You
Dang.
play all night, and then it's like break down. We're like, all right, what are we doing? All right, let's just have a couple more beers. And while we're doing that, we might as well just sweep the floor. You got a broom?
yeah, you just feel kind of compelled to help them kind of clean.
And dude, but I've been doing that since I was even playing in the States.
Yeah.
Stateside. We just stay there so late, and they're already counting out the money. You're like, can I like wipe something down?
You must be the singer then, because if you're the drummer, the fucking excuse me, didn't cuss, but if you're the drummer and you're breaking down, you're not gonna be sweeping anybody's stuff. So.
I don't know, bro. My friend, he was actually the drummer, and he was the one that was
He's
the first one.
Yeah, what the hell?
Fucking wiping it down.
I don't know. Shit, I take the longest, but I guess that's just me. But yeah, I've done it once, twice. But yeah, I don't know. I was just randomly, and it didn't feel like I was going there because you would meet someone.
Yeah. I was telling you earlier that I haven't drank for a couple weeks, and then I think as we get older, and maybe it's because I've been exercising too. I've been putting a lot of like strain on my body, and so now that I put a toxin into my body, my body was just like, whoa, holy shit!
What the hell is
and
this?
this morning, dude, I had the worst just headache and just hangover, and it shouldn't have been so bad.
When's the last time you had a hangover like that?
Cannot say.
Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't.
Maybe around the holidays.
I haven't been drinking since the beginning of the year. The last time I think was maybe 2 weeks ago with you,
Right.
but I do it usually on the weekends, so I don't feel the. I'm out for a day.
Is there something about being in your 30s of really trying to maybe take care of your body a little more?
No, I just need to function at work the next day.
Okay.
For me, that's like I need to be tip-top shape the next day, unless it's like a half day for the typhoon and we're just securing or something.
Right.
Even that, you can't do that. You gotta. I just gotta be 100%, as much 100% on the weekdays, and then weekends just.
I don't understand.
I don't know
how some people can just. I don't know how I used to do it, playing in the band and just.
You were young.
Getting.
You were young.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, because I
just
probably
get trashed and then go to work the next day and just feel fine, and then do it again because we have a gig the next night.
I don't think it's possible once you're past 30. Everything just slowly starts to hurt.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you are under 30, you are very lucky. Matt, you're very lucky right now.
Yeah, well,
take advantage of this.
Well, we don't know if how do you say this? We don't know if. So sorry, let me gather my thoughts. So we partied hard within our.
Do you think we partied too early in our lives?
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Is if you were clean or not clean, but you stayed at home all the time for that 10 years, the 20s, and then you go all crazy on the 30s. Maybe you might be totally fine and can do it in your 30s, and then your 40s are actually the one that's kind of hard. Or if you
suffers.
Save it, I don't know.
Right.
Because most people party in your 20s. So.
But most people here on Guam, I believe, party when they're like 14 or 15.
Yeah, till they're 65. That's
Can you put your phone on vibration?
Is that me?
I think so. It's not me.
Apologies.
We don't have. We are iPhone users in this house.
Nothing going off. I could not tell. Yeah, I know. iPhone. Hey Siri. Nope, doesn't work.
You can do a Hey Google.
As I thought, it didn't work.
You can do a Hey Google.
Of course the Google works.
Hey Google. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry, didn't hear.
Hey Siri doesn't work in here because it doesn't work.
Because they don't have that feature for
Anyways,
Hey Siri.
yeah, they do. Oh, yeah, that's tough.
Oh, there.
Yeah, that's great. Every home should be digitalized. And
do you think they're listening?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Who cares? Everybody should be listening to the podcast right now.
No. Do you think?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play on words. Yeah. Yeah. If they're listening, they're listening. Why not? But
I've been wanting to unplug it lately.
But I mean,
but I like it because I can just go, "Hey Google, play me some hip hop beats."
No, but I don't think at this level. I mean, if you're worried about your privacy being invaded, you need to be more busy. To actually have something to be invaded on about, or to have some
for sure
to be paranoid about. If you're just a regular, no offense, but if you're just a regular,
like us all, we're all regular Joes here. Yeah,
regular meaning you're not a U.S. politician or like you're not anything where you're gonna affect policy.
What about
local or foreign policy?
What about Instagram public figures?
So yeah, those. Well, if they have
Should they worry about their privacy?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Anybody that's going to get, like, those FAPs or the nudes leaked, then you should worry about it. If you're just a random person that happens to be on the X-rated sites, you leaked out on your own.
I'm still good. I have under 5. I'm still under 5,000 followers, so I'm still safe.
That's good. That's good. So as long as you don't have the check mark next to your name on Instagram,
right? No one really gives a shit right now for me.
No. Sorry. You can have your life listened to on and on and on.
Yeah. Kai was just, saying she Googled her name and she was like freaking out. She's like, "Whoa, why is all this information, online and
when
stuff?"
When did she do that?
Just last night.
Don't you ever Google your name all? I Google my name all the time.
I probably
just to
Google
make sure
my name.
Not too much things on there.
Maybe once every like
couple
6 months.
Yeah.
For me. Just to be curious, but there's a lot of people who have my name, so it's not. It's always some Mexican dude.
It's always some Filipino guy.
For real, for you?
Yeah, in the Philippines. Yeah. That's cool.
You gotta meet.
I'm nobody.
You gotta meet your name doppelganger.
The doppelganger. Yeah.
You have to.
You know what?
This,
he owns TonyVillena.com, and I've
really
been trying to wait till it expires, and I'm at that point where I'm gonna pop in his office because it gets routed to his. He's a doctor in the Philippines, and it gets routed to not even TonyVillena.com. It goes TonyVillena.com, then it goes to AFV Group or something like that, and it's in the Philippines. I was like, dude, one of these days I'm just knocking there and be like, hey man, since you're not actually using TonyVillena.com, can I just buy it from you for like $1,000?
But what would you use it for?
Who cares? Doesn't matter. I will have it not route somewhere else. Whatever it wanted to route to.
Just gotta start your own blog then.
Do you have buada.com?
No, I don't. I don't.
Google
I
that
have
up.
masterrandom.com. That works.
I remember that. So it's good enough.
Yeah.
So but what would you use it for? Nothing. He's not using it for anything either, but it doesn't even, it goes somewhere else. So Mr. Anthony Villena, doppelganger name, I'm gonna knock on your door when it's
doppelganger name.
Yeah. The doppel name, and then I guess. So. Yeah, that's cool. You guys should all Google your names and
really find out how much information about yourself is on the internet.
Not much, because I'm not in any public eye or anything. There's not really much there.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. I mean, even with me doing this podcast for so long,
it doesn't pop it up. It doesn't pop up.
Not really.
You must not write your name on the. You must not write Buada on a lot of the descriptions, because that's how it queues up. It crawls the sites for.
Like, I'm pretty sure if you put
Google
Buada, it'll come up Master Random stuff. But if you use my real name, then it'd
be like a bunch of dead people.
Well, a lot of older people have very antique name, and a lot of Mexicans, like I said, so it's not a bad thing. I think
it's whatever. I think it's cool that you can do that nowadays, but it's also uncool when people are looking for dirt on you, and they have some malicious type of things that they want to do.
Ill will intentions.
Yeah. So but anything you should do is should always be in the grace of God.
Oh wow.
Anyways,
nice.
Yeah. I'll take my sip after you take your sip.
Okay, so we don't create this dead air situation. Yeah, man.
Anyways.
Before we went off on a wild tangent, I had brought up the marijuana bill.
Yeah.
And what are your initial thoughts on it? We've been sort of following it. Yeah, that's how we went on the wild tangent. Is we said we've been texting about it, and we said let's do a podcast. And your initial thoughts?
Without reading the bill,
but just being able to follow whatever's in the media.
Oh, okay.
And directly from the YouTube channel.
Okay,
the legislature channel.
I think there's a lot of fear. My initial reaction to just.
Did you watch any of the public hearings?
Some of them. Here and there, I watched some of it. I still have to read and watch a little bit more of it, but it's very tense. It just has this tense atmosphere in the legislature that seems like you have these group of people that want to be pioneers, or want to just say, hey man, let's just do this.
I want to be the guy.
Yeah, or I don't know if they want to be the guy, but it's like this has been talked about so long, and it's like you want to get that little hair off your face that you've been looking at in the mirror, and you just want to pluck it out already, It's like, let's just get this done with and just let it pass, and then we'll iron it out as it progresses, and however we see any problems with it, like let's just go off of that. Let's stop talking about it and actually do something about it. Then you have these people. But we did. That's what I feel like.
But we did do something about it in 2014, 15.
Right, but it just
find out when the referendum.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah,
it's sad.
So we did do something about it, but we didn't continue the work.
Yeah.
Is the same thing going to happen to this bill if it was to go into law?
That's a good question. We'll find out. What's going to happen, but I think. You stirred up the community so much. Not you, but they stirred up the community so much that I think it's gonna be one of those decolonization type of things, because let's face it, most people have seen marijuana, have probably seen someone smoked it themselves, whatever. It's there, like that's not sugar coated and all this stuff. It's around everybody. It's around everybody.
Right.
So
yeah, it's around. Everybody.
So I think that where was I going with this? Yeah, I think that it'll be somewhat like the decolonization type of thing, where it's kind of not really gonna go around anywhere because it pisses so many people off, or it turns so many people on.
Yeah, it still has the
that.
taboo, right?
Yeah, it's
And
still.
I was having a conversation with a coworker, and we were discussing it, and he's much older. He's in his 60s.
Okay.
And you can definitely read, the stigma behind his reasoning because of the stigma that marijuana had for many, many, many years, that it's bad, it's illegal, it's bad, it's illegal.
Basically, he watched Reefer Madness once, and now he,
well, he's
whatever it is, but not him, but that general type of person,
right. And so they were just taught that it's because it's illegal, that it's bad, and you shouldn't do it.
Right.
You shouldn't, right. And
yeah, that's interesting.
I don't think the problem is whether marijuana is bad or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think the problem is marijuana, is this marijuana bill the right thing to push through at this time?
Right.
And you mentioned, it seems like people are there's a group of people who really want to be the person where, hey, I wear the patch, I'm the guy that, or lady that,
I don't think they
help
see
push
it
this through
that way in a way, but essentially it's giving off that let's, it's almost like let's just get this out of the way too. And the same time, it's like, hey, let's push on.
But what's the rush? We don't. Here's.
That's
I had some time to think about it, right? And it's California have legalized recreational marijuana, right? Oregon, Washington, some of the pioneer states in the legalization of marijuana on a recreational level. But before that, they had a very, very stringent medicinal program, right?
Yeah.
That they all followed, and we don't have one. We don't have a program. We don't have regulations for medicinal.
Well, what's the rush?
Yeah.
What's the rush for anything kind of thing?
But I'm saying, what's the rush to take it to recreational rather than work out the medicinal part, so that when the medicinal part is well and established, then we can start being like, okay, well, medicinal is working out pretty good.
Right.
I think we can now do it recreational, and we can sort of use the medicinal regulations as sort of a backbone to what people can follow on the recreational side of things.
Right. But it's almost like there's,
maybe I'm not that educated.
No, it's okay.
Talking shit.
No, it's okay. I think that makes some sense. I guess to people, and to me it makes sense. But at the same time, it seems like what you're saying is they're trying to sprint before they can crawl. But at the same time, is there really a pathway to where it says, why should you do medical first? Why can't recreational be the why can't it be the other way around? Why can't you just have it rec and then medical? I have no idea. I just kind of asked that question.
No matter what, they need regulations, right?
Yeah, they're going to
be some sort of board to determine what's what and how people are to consume marijuana. Right.
Yeah. So, why? I don't know. Why not rec first and then figure out the medical? I don't know. I have no idea. Why isn't it the other way around? Is that just how? Is there some? I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I was just kind of an open-ended question.
Well, it's just sort of the way every other places went, right?
Right.
Nobody just went straight recreational.
That's true.
Right.
Well, Guam wants to be the first, or one of the first to.
Well, Saipan is the first.
Okay.
In which I did hear that in the wind. I heard in the wind.
Okay, little birdies.
That Saipan actually will be nixing their marijuana law.
Okay.
Wow. Legal marijuana law, because the feds came down hard on them and they may lose some federal funding.
Well, guess it's gonna call the feds out to we lose some fundings ourselves. I wonder what kind of funding that has to do with it. And I'm gonna wonder, where the heck are these seeds gonna come from?
Yeah,
because it has to. It's what comes first, the hen or the egg, right? Kind of thing. It's like, so if you cannot ship these seeds in, and gosh, we know the seeds are here,
right?
But I didn't finish reading where you're gonna actually buy. I don't know if there's anything in here that says where the seed comes from.
Yeah, this evening, ladies and gentlemen, TVille is our subject matter.
Well, I just read a few. I read
on
a
the first
more.
15 pages of
Or whatnot, 20. Yeah, so I don't see anything mentioning, and I could be wrong. Matt, if you want to just control F or command F and look for seed or something germination or anything like that, and see if there's anything in here saying that you have to buy the seed from somebody. Where's the seed gonna come
it's
from?
illegal.
Right? It's
illegal. It's illegal to send plants
right anywhere
or any cultivated marijuana or seedlings through the mail.
Yeah, you can't do that. But
Yeah.
anyways, it's already here, so that's kind of funny. So it's
right.
So it's
I mean, it gets here.
maybe it's not in here. So if it's not in here, then dude.
So what's
totally
the problem? So why
Totally cool.
Why even need to even put a law to make
You
it
don't
legal?
need to. You don't. Well,
It's
you don't.
already
You don't
here.
need. Yeah,
People are doing
No,
it.
it's here. Yeah.
The only reason is
you don't need to put in the law that the seeds are.
Yeah.
You have to buy it anywhere because
the whole reason
there.
why it's gonna go in people want it to go into law is to make money off of it, right? Now you can tax marijuana
yeah.
and tax people for consuming it, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest unknown is what is the industry? You know,
is there an industry?
Is there an industry?
Yeah.
So has anybody done a study?
No, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't see. That's the thing is, how are you gonna do a study if it's illegal?
You can still.
How do you do that? How would you do that?
You can still perform studies, but I don't think there's any. You can call an independent third party,
right?
Person or company to come in and do a study on marijuana here. The consumption of marijuana. You do surveys by asking people if they consume, how many times they consume. Yeah, how frequently, where they buy it. Nah, but there definitely are. What's
That's
wrong?
fine.
What's wrong?
Good. Just good.
You need to move it?
No,
You can pull it.
it's fine. Oh, okay. But anyways, so yeah, just keep going. There, that's perfect.
Okay.
I want to not keep like hunging over the.
Yeah, super flexible.
Anyways, yeah. So go ahead, dude. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
No,
edit that part out.
What was I trying to get at? Yeah, doing surveys, right?
Right.
So
right.
you would call a third party contractor to come and do these surveys, independent study.
But the government is going to pay for that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What I mean, are they gonna?
But how about these?
How
about these advocacy groups?
Yeah.
Right.
No one's gonna pay for that. That's what's.
They can totally take that money or take some money or get their advocacy members and be like, okay, everybody put in $1,000 and we're gonna get this study done so that we can prove that there is an actual industry for marijuana here.
Right. Or they're gonna be let's have a fundraiser at the bar,
right?
Because that's legal.
I mean,
so we can fundraise for something that's illegal, so that we can get it legal, which we don't even know why the legal thing is legal in the first place when supposedly, according to the advocacy groups, that alcohol is more dangerous than weed. So it's kind of funny, but I don't know if anybody, as soon as you have a study that's on the table for a study, they're going to say the hospital needs money and the kids need textbooks, and that study's never going to take off. It sounds good, but at the same time, it's like, come on, are you guys going to appropriate money for that when you're just going to end up saying that they need money. You need money to do that. And now you have people trying to generate revenue for the island, but it's questionable. And, and just some kind of, I want to read off you said they're going to tax the sale of it. What they're taxing is from the transfer from the cultivator to the retailer. So they're not going to.
Matt, can you bring that up?
They're not going to.
On the TV here?
They're not going to tax.
On the screen so everybody can. Whoever.
Oh, yeah. You can show it. Okay, so it's on page 17. I'm just going to straight read it.
Yeah.
So let me know, but it says excise tax on cannabis, and I don't think there's any part about any other taxing. Because, we don't have a sales tax. We actually don't have a sales tax on Guam. We have what's called a business privilege tax, which is, I think, still 5%. And that's pretty much charged to the retailer, or the retailer charges the customer that. It's not a sales tax, but it's like tax is a tax, man. No matter how you put it, it's ultimately gonna be just money to the government.
Right.
But anyway, I think that's cool.
And that's the
I
purpose.
like tax.
I mean,
I like taxing if you use it properly.
It definitely is a source of revenue, right? And that's
Right.
always good.
I wouldn't say I like tax. I would just say I think tax is good if it was used properly.
But how much weed is actually grown here?
So we don't know. That's the study. But see, because you can't study that because it's illegal to grow it. So
Right.
how are you gonna figure that out?
Maybe you can base it on the amount of bust that we're.
Yeah,
that we're-
well, yeah, I guess,
know?
right? But then how are you gonna say, oh, like, where did you? It's gonna be such
Right.
an expensive study
Right.
to like get all these answers. It's gonna be hard, man.
I mean,
it's
in California, I'm sure in the mountains of California, you have like acres and acres of marijuana being grown.
Can we get a picture of that up?
Where
I'm just.
of
That could be acres
of
and acres.
acres of marijuana.
There's a marijuana over in the hillsides
he needs a reference. He needs a
of
reference.
Umatic, of Umatic, or down in Umatic, or not in Umatic, but where's the flat? And Gigo? No, that's not the best place to grow. Somewhere down there, somewhere down there in the
red
south
areas.
Yeah, they would
Cross
love it.
Island, Cross Island
That
Road,
would be great.
or Menengan Hills, right?
That would be so cool, man. Can you imagine what's that one movie where they get real stoned and they're walking through the fields of weed and it
Oh
starts
my
burning? Pineapple Express.
Is it
Yeah,
Pineapple
is the Half a
yeah.
Day Express like movie. Oh man, that would be so funny. I mean, look, you can spur. I mean, this is cool. We talk about this later, but we can talk about other industries that can come out of the marijuana industry here on Guam, like the film industry or whatever. You know, documentaries about this stuff happening.
Right.
And it just opens up kind of a lot of things. But anyways, let's read this tax thing. Let's read this tax. What they're actually taxed on. Is that cool?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's section, chapter, whatever. Okay, let's just go to page 17 of the
There it is. He's on it.
chapter. Well, I think
So I
it's
don't
chapter 8.
So I don't have to read upside down.
All right, so I think it's chapter 8, section 8113, article A. I
Yeah.
believe it's article A A. A Guam excise tax is imposed on the sale or transfer of cannabis from a cannabis cultivation facility to a retail cannabis store or a cannabis product manufacturing facility.
Which could be what, gummies or
Just cannabis.
edibles?
Cannabis
maybe?
is like
Edibles?
everything under the sun that
Okay.
contains tetrahydrocannabinoid. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. So
Cannabinol?
you know,
Noise? Node?
yeah,
I don't know.
you know what it is. Everybody knows it is. So basically, any marijuana, the marijuana. So that's what every cannabis. So going back to it, every cannabis cultivation facility shall pay a Guam excise tax at a rate of 15% on the dollar value of cannabis that is sold or transferred from the cannabis cultivation facility to a retail cannabis store or cannabis product manufacturing facility. Provided further that no such excise tax shall be levied upon cannabis intended for sale as medicinal cannabis. Basically saying
No tax.
no tax on medicinal weed
Right.
or marijuana. I can't
Right.
say it's not weed.
It keeps saying.
In the definitions, it doesn't say weed is what. It's only marijuana equals cannabis equals marijuana equals cannabis.
Right.
There's no mention of the word weed. So
Okay.
if you want to be correct in the legal terms, you please use cannabis and marijuana in here. It's part of the law. So it's saying that when you go and buy
You are an SME.
when you go and what's that?
Subject matter.
I
Subject
guess.
matter expert.
Well, because you just have to read it and stuff. But thank you, anyways. I'm not so just subject matter amateur, not expert. 'Cause we just-
SMA. SMA. You're
I'm a
SMA.
SMA. So basically, it's saying it's only taxing the transfer of it, the seller transfer between the two places, not at the. You don't see it. You're not gonna get charged a tax at the register.
Between the cultivator and
And the
and
the
the
retailer,
retailer.
yeah,
Right.
the cultivator. So the cultivator is like the grower,
right.
more or less. And then
Does it say anything on how, if you're a cultivator, how much you can grow?
I didn't see anything about that. But you're not gonna grow more than you need to. That's what
But
it's gonna be,
if
right?
you're a manufacturer distributing
I didn't
to
see anything about
retailers,
that.
then and I have an acre of land and I
By
want
golly,
to make my acre of land all marijuana plants. Am I able to?
that's a great question, and I think you know how you say they rushed it. Maybe it's not in here yet, and they have to come up with something like that. But you know, with all things, Wild Wild West are becoming legal.
Right.
You have a wrinkled shirt, you're gonna iron a part of it. Maybe we're only on the sleeve, of the shirt, and we're still ironing it out. And we can only see the sleeve. We're in a dark room and the light's shining only on the sleeve, and we know it's all wrinkled, but we're still ironing the sleeve out, and we can't see the rest of it. That's a kind of interesting way to look at it, but anyway, so you're not at the register as part of what this is. You're not going to see a tax on it, but it'll reflect on the price of whatever per gram or however you're gonna buy it. It'll reflect on that.
So you would basically still get marijuana duty free.
Yeah, the retail will probably still pay the business privilege tax, which it's 5%. Everybody gets charged that stuff. Right. But it's kind of like gas. You have an excise tax on gas.
So who determines the prices of the retail?
The retail. So whoever. Right,
so they're going to be competing with each other.
Yeah,
then, is how I would imagine.
Fair and open trade,
right? It'd be like, okay, well, you can come get cheaper shit over here.
Yeah, if you want to take a lesser cut on your profit, then the retailer is going to ultimately decide whatever they want to charge. The retailer can charge you nothing.
You can bring it down, Matt, if you haven't already.
Oh, that?
Yeah. We don't need to read.
Yeah, the retailer can charge whatever the retailer wants to charge. It's up to them. No one's you can't determine price. Remember, I think that's illegal. Right. Nobody can tell you how much you can sell something for. I think that's against the law, federal law or something. Yeah. So basically, if it costs manufacturer,
it's almost like buying bread at one store and then buying the same bread but cheaper at another store. It just depends on the margin of profit.
Whatever the margin wants to make, right. And I think the only time you cannot charge too much for a commodity, gosh, I can't remember, but there's no price. You can't price gouge, but that's only usually for necessities, like at a time of disasters, like, changing the price of water or the price of gas or the price of shutters.
Didn't that happen in Hawaii?
It did happen in Hawaii, not on Guam. Right. It never happened on Guam because Hawaii doesn't usually have the disasters, so they are not as familiar with the laws that.
While you were out there too, right?
Yeah, it was at
Walmart
or Kmart or Don Quixote or some one of the big places. I don't think it's fine if you have a small retailer that's doing not fine, but it's understandable if a small retailer went and did that because they don't have lawyers. They don't.
I would jack up batteries. I would jack up batteries, bro.
But is that a necessity?
Not water. Well, it is a necessity.
Yeah, so you can't do that. Yeah, that sucks. It's interesting. But if you had solar, but you gotta have. No, that's not gonna work out either. It's like you have solar power. But anyways, so yeah, you're not actually taxed on the sell of the marijuana to the consumer. Yeah.
And can we find out if retail to consumer of marijuana sales in one of the legal states, maybe California or Colorado, if there's any kind of tax levied on the consumer? Because it sounds like
please.
I do have that problem. It sounds like all the tax is going to be placed on the retailer and the cultivator. And it's going to be up based on how much they're affected by that tax is going to be based on how much they're going to charge.
Yeah.
Charge the consumer.
Yeah.
Just like everything else.
Yeah. Right? So the wholesaler here on Guam, a wholesaler does not pay tax on anything. If you're wholesaling goods like regular, like normal, this piece of these equipments, right? They're bringing them in. You're a wholesaler of something. I don't believe the retailer pays the tax. The wholesaler may pay like importation fees or whatever it takes to bring it in. But in terms of ultimately selling it to somebody, the consumer, that's called, you're a retailer at that point. So let's say, how some people want to go buy wholesale. That's why people want to buy wholesale prices for like food, or let's say you eat a lot of rice crackers like myself and you want to go to the wholesaler because you just buy a lot of it.
Right.
That wholesaler has to pay the 5% business privilege tax fee because who's the end user? Me, right?
Right.
I'm not reselling it or retailing it. to anybody else. I'm consuming it.
So they
going
still
in-
have to pay the 5%.
They're gonna, at that point, they technically can't sell it to you because you have to have a retail license in order to buy it from them. And I think that's in here somewhere where it says you can only sell to a retailer. You can only sell your product to a retailer, and obviously you're gonna have to ask for your retail license. You're supposed to ask for your retail license.
So you're probably gonna have a few businesses who are the main cultivators.
Oh yeah.
Of marijuana.
Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, you will.
Whoever owns Coco's Island, they're the ones that's gonna.
But then you gotta have a boat to go over there and bring the
Is-
marijuana over.
Is that considered?
That's an expense.
Importation?
No, if is Coco's Island under the jurisdiction of Guam?
I don't know.
Is it
I mean,
part of
is it
politically part of Guam or CNMI?
It could be
I think
illegal,
it's
man.
Guam.
Because
think it's Guam.
you can't ship marijuana through the mail from Agana to Barragata post office.
I think that might be an importation because you'll be going over the waters and the waters,
International waters, right?
and that water, depending on depending on that piece of water that you're traveling between, if that is federal, if there's any federal has jurisdiction over that stuff, and maybe someone can say they do, and then you'll be.
I don't think anybody owns the water. Axer. What are we looking at, Matt? Oh shit. Just checking it out.
Yeah, I don't think he's supposed to show that up yet until it's on the big screen. He's doing the research.
Oh no, but it's not up on the. It's not up on the video, the stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just us.
It's there.
It's just us. Yeah. We
okay.
can see this.
Anyways, so
yeah, I guess
that's interesting. I think that might be illegal, dude. I think that might be.
Will.
I think. Well, think about it this way.
There,
when you
maybe.
No, it wouldn't be, because there's no customs immigrations that are coming that are seeing you at the docks between. That's part of Guam. I don't think that's illegal. I don't think so. See, if the Coast Guard pulls you over, then yeah. See why? That's interesting. Good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. No one owns the water. People own the water within a certain area of on and off the shores. There's a certain miles off the shore that
you do
that
reach
you
a point
own.
of
Yes, wait.
International water.
Yeah, and I think there's a certain. I don't know what it is. We can find it out, but there is a certain.
Matt, you're gonna have to do a lot of research tonight. So.
Sorry, has he done this a lot with other peeps?
I think Blake Watson has taken advantage of us, of Matt.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a certain number of miles that the federal guys and the local guys have enforcement officers have jurisdiction over, because
go to that first one.
Makes sense. What about Upper Harbor, man?
The counting one. I
mean, you can't just go out and kill someone in the middle of the ocean and not be expected to be prosecuted by anybody. That doesn't make sense. If a crime happens out there, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get tried on Guam.
Right. Or let's think about, how about the cocaine that's washed up on the shore.
See?
Right.
That's you're gonna be tried here in Guam, and you're not going to be tried in the ocean court system or anything like that. So
Atlantis.
Atlantis.
Just go ahead and go down. Let's see what this is all about. I just want to see if there's a tax levied from the retailer to the consumer on in these legal states. You just keep going down. Recreational. Go ahead, keep going down. Here we go. All right, Maine, California taxes. There's a cultivation tax. There's a tax on harvested cannabis entering the commercial market imposed on cultivators. Cultivators are required to pay the tax to either the distributor or a manufacturer.
Wow.
At last check, the rates range from $1.29 to $9.25 per dry weight ounce of cannabis flowers, leaves, and fresh plants. However, these rates are subject to change and must be researched often.
So you have to pay the tax to the distributor?
To the person. So there's a difference between the cultivator and the distributor.
Yeah, you have to.
So
pay
there's a guy who
distribute.
There's a guy who is purely just farming.
He's a grower. That's
it.
Perfect sense. They should stay the grower.
Right.
They should.
He's not handling the business and the growing side. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
Cannabis excise tax. This tax is imposed on all purchasers of cannabis and cannabis products, including medical cannabis, at a current rate of 15% of the average market price of the retail sale.
Which this seems like this is
It's,
kind of
that's when
written
you hear
after.
excise, it's usually
Right. Retailers must collect the tax from the customer and pay it to the distributor.
Oh, okay. So it's probably gonna be similar. Like you'll probably collect the tax from the customer. Yeah. So that's probably just depends on how they structure this thing. I don't know if it says it here, but you could do it that way. Where that's what the business privilege tax. Sometimes that's how it just depends. People can include it or exclude it.
So what does it say in this that we're doing?
So it doesn't say anything on how it's gonna be done.
Oh, by the way, this is from accounting.
Oh, here.
This is from Accounting Today.
The
which
Department
which
of-
I'm assuming is a pretty good
Can you
source.
go back to the bill, please, Matt?
Yeah, Matt, you can bring this up for everyone, bro.
Section B is
everyone's
department.
looking
There
at
we go. So right there, it hasn't been established yet. So the Department of Revenue and
Shall
Taxation
establish.
shall. That means they better do it, or else.
Right.
Procedures for the collection of all excise taxes. So the Department of Revenue can say, hey, and say
But
exactly copy that bill.
but they'll be collecting taxes from the cultivator.
They do whatever. No, well, they'll decide that. They'll decide how that will be done. Whatever the procedure.
So this is a very bare bones.
This is
bill.
like
really bare bones.
Yeah, it's like let's go just establish kind of like the framework of it, or like you could say the skeleton, or just the bare bones. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I know what you meant now. This is the skeleton, man, and then we'll figure it out along the way, and it I don't know if it should cover mostly everything, man, that's in here, and of course. It's good that they throw something out so that people can dissect it and can go, hey, you need to rewrite.
I think
You
what we're doing.
can make an amendment of the amendment of the amendment.
Yeah, I think what we're doing here is pretty good.
Yeah, it's
You know?
okay.
I mean,
Yeah. I think
Okay,
it's
go
good.
back to Accounting Today. I want to see.
To have
please, Matt.
a disclaimer. Chapter we just didn't finish chapter 9, which is basically the cannabis control board, what they can and cannot do, what they can the establishment of the appointing of the members, qualification of the members, their meetings, the staff support, duties, limitations of what they can do, and then the fund, the cannabis control fund, and that's going to be an interesting read.
I see.
Topic.
Okay. Sales and use tax.
So it only sounds like there's a tax. There's a one-time tax. That's it
Yeah.
for this.
Yep. That's right.
15% tax in just everything, and
from the
cultivator to
the manufacturer or the retailer.
Okay. So we're on tax number 3 now for California, right? Sales and use tax. Those who sell cannabis and cannabis products to consumers are generally subject to sales and use tax.
That's a typical sales tax, right?
That's usually the retailer.
these-
That's usually the retailer, but
These taxes must be reported on a sales and use tax return. If sales tax is included in the price of the items,
which is how it's kind of
it must be explicitly stated on the invoice. The
Yep.
above described excise tax is also subject to sales tax.
basically what it's saying. So like for example on Guam, it's like $5 for whatever. They don't put it there that the business privilege tax is 5%, and they don't show it like they do out in the States. You really don't do that because it's a business privilege tax. It's not a sales tax. That's what a sales tax is. A sales tax is this item plus the sales tax equals your item plus tax total, right? It shows it's based on the physical exchanging of here's this product,
Right.
give me the money. The government's hand is in there, and you have to
like,
show the hand.
There's the tax.
Yeah.
Right.
And then so business privilege tax.
So on the receipt,
the business
on
privilege
the invoice or the receipt, it's gonna show
sales tax.
sales tax.
Yeah, so maybe you can pull up the difference between pull up business privilege tax and kind of see what this, because that's mainly Guam's main the one you hear about GRT, business privilege tax.
Right.
It's just it's
Maddie, go
sales
on a
sales
little
sales is only on the sell of the actual item.
Right. Here's Colorado. Incidence of tax. So excise tax is imposed on the retail marijuana cultivation facility, which pays the excise tax to the Department of Revenue on the first sale and transfer of retail marijuana to a retail marijuana store or a retail marijuana products manufacturing facility.
So similar.
So they got bases of tax, and then they got rates of tax. So compared to California's, they have their rates of tax are something that sort of just kind of bounce around, or all
all forms of the cannabis, whether it's dry product, flower, or
Right.
plant, all have the same tax. These have different rates levied on the taxes. Go down a little bit more. All the way down to the seedling. Oh, go up.
Oh, it has
There you
seed
go.
rate.
All right, $3 per seed. So that's the tax rate imposed on per pound. So $1,200 per pound for flower rate. General sales tax 2.9%. Retail marijuana licenses. This is talk about licenses for
It's up to $5,000 for the application. So
to be a retail.
it
retailer.
just says so I think that's where the board comes in, and
This is how I know we're sort of like many years
Wow.
away from from it being an actual like.
I mean, yeah, I think it can. Yeah, we're like maybe because you got to appoint the board, right? The board has to come up with all the like someone literally has to go and, okay, what are we going to put on the form? Well, what do we have to? What does it say in the law that we have to do? And then
Right.
you're going to have the lawyer to go through it and make sure that's all right.
And then they're
No, it's
gonna
gonna
have
take some time.
They're gonna have to develop regulations to amend this current bill, right? Or to amend
Well, if
the
they
current
come,
law.
yeah, if they come,
If it
they're
becomes
going
law.
to. Yeah, I think that's definitely going to happen because, there's things that, you're going to take this law and you're going to be like, hey, what about seeds? What about all these other things? And it's almost like it's a study within itself. That's you're trying by trial by error,
Right.
which I can see can be a problem. Like that depending on how analytical you are or how cautious you are to doing things this way, you could definitely have a problem with that. And I kind of have a problem with that too, in a way. I think it's good that it's kind of out there, but I think that it can be looked at a little bit better. Like, you're right. There could be studies like they could do a study on this law,
Right, right.
Like, I think that's where you will gain the most traction and you will be more productive is at least you have this law out there to like have studies on it. So for example, this law can go up
But why not scrutinize it before it becomes law?
because if you think about it, is that going to get anywhere? And I think the point is they're trying to do is to have it move forward, keep on keeping
But it
on.
doesn't. But if it
So-
becomes law, it doesn't necessarily mean marijuana becomes legal right away because we don't even have a board set up. And
No,
then,
they only-
and then
at
when
this-
the board gets set up, they still have to come up with the rules and regs
So
that medical marijuana failed to complete.
okay, yes, that's on the sale and cultivation of mass marijuana, so you can grow, and that's what this bill will cover. So yes,
So
all
you
those
can grow-
cultivations
okay,
and all that
okay,
stuff, so you can
so
still grow.
So you can grow
Grow.
personally in
Yeah,
your home.
that will pass,
Okay.
and that once she signs that thing, let the weed be free, or what do they set the weed free is what they're using. So yeah, I think that's what they mean. Once she signs this thing, there's a section in here that says, hey, you can grow.
But what does
so-
it do for us? What does it do for the industry now?
So now, okay, yeah. So then, no, not that remember, it's recreational. So
Yeah, but the
Nothing.
whole purpose of having recreational is to allow people to be able to buy it in stores. Instead of go to
also
the
so-
black market.
not black market. You can grow it.
Do you think? Okay.
So that's the problem that we're gonna have, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So we
And I see what you're
constantly
gonna get to.
we constantly have marijuana somehow getting into Guam, right?
Like,
Is
it was here before we were here. So
right. But even like different kinds of products, right? Maybe it's coming from California, maybe it's coming from somewhere, wherever,
from
right?
heaven.
It's definitely not coming from here. So is Guam's cultivators gonna have to challenge or fight with the black market still and still getting higher quality products?
Yeah, there will always be a fight between the two. Think about it. There's a fight between the two for black market everything and tax on goods. I mean, as long as anybody and anyone can produce it, you're gonna have that tug of war between, okay, why should I pay taxes on this crap and I'm just gonna make whatever make however much money on it untaxed and take that risk.
Right.
You will always have it, but at the same time, it depends on the consumer. It's gonna be the consumer's choice. Do I get this tested, lab approved, recreational bud, or get it from Joe Blow Schmo who's on the side corner of the street who don't know if they are actually selling you weed or what they're selling you? How's the quality of? Oh, dude, this is
Right.
what is one called?
Did
I
they
don't
put
know.
herbicides or pesticides?
Whatever.
On it?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So it comes down to, yes, I think the people who cannot afford the ones the one that's gonna be coming out of the store that's tested, they're gonna go black market just like anything else, man. Like if you need to buy something that has heavy tax on it, you're gonna buy from the person who didn't have to pay, and you're gonna take that risk of, hey, this is the best in the whole world, or the best in the whole island, bro. It's even better than the other.
This is the baddest.
Better than the other. What you call it? It's better than the store, man. I can't buy this anywhere else, dude. I've been growing this all my life, but I don't want to do those. Don't want to go through all those paperworks, and man, I don't even know how to do that stuff. But honestly, this is the best, and you know he's the best. Right. You know that. Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna go there. But if you're a smart guy, never mind, I'm not gonna tell you what you should do in that sense. But
so if you're allowed to grow up to 6 plants, are you allowed to sell it?
No, you need a license.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Good
We
question.
just need clear.
Sorry, I was just no,
clearing that up.
You can't.
Yeah,
well, I'm no lawyer.
clearing
This
that
is
up with
not
people.
any lawyer.
Yeah, we're not.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
We are just reading the bill to you, and you should read it too, because you know what? You do not want to
get yourself on the wrong side.
Yeah, go hire a lawyer and do all that stuff.
Especially if you plan on pursuing.
Or you want to smoke it, read it. If you have any,
whether you're consuming it or whether you're gonna plan on selling some sort of cannabis product, you should understand the law that you're covered under or not covered.
You know what? If you are gonna exist in this community, you need to read the law and on everything and anything that you want to anything and everything, because you could be a whistleblower and you can think you're a whistleblower and you are dead wrong in your waters. You are not. I don't even know if I said that right, but you could be dead wrong. Like, you had no idea what the law is, and you go and call the police on someone who's being lawfully abided. You've just became a bad neighbor.
Right.
You are flagged now for everyone in the neighborhood that knows that you just, don't know what you're talking about, and you don't want to be that person. So before you point fingers at anybody, you should definitely read this law. If you want to smoke weed, or marijuana or cannabis in your own home, you should read the law and figure out how you can do that without pissing off other people, so that when they come and tattletale on you, then you're ready with, you're
within the bounds of the law.
Within the bounds of the law. So definitely,
but don't take everything that we have to say on this podcast in regards to this law is not no expert opinion.
No, not at all.
Advice that we're giving you.
Nope.
Just really take it with a grain of salt, and maybe encourage thought on your end.
Yeah.
On how things, maybe the bill can change, right? Or the law can change, and how it can evolve, because it will have to evolve.
It should, and all law should never be a stagnant document. It should be a living.
Tell that to the English. If I'm not mistaken, they still have a law that is still active from like the 1700s.
But is it working? So if it's working, then fine.
I think it was like a.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so be it. Yeah, law should be a living, breathing document, just like the Constitution of the United States is. And before we go off into a tangent, that's basically what is beautiful about our political system, is that this thing's not set in stone. Like, everyone's worried about it now, but at the same time, it's like, dude, all you have to do is, when those senators, if they don't want to run anymore, you vote them out.
Right.
Then you get the ones that are gonna change it to what you want. You
but
vote
it's
them in.
just so I believe it's so crazy how quick we're to chop off the heads of people who make decisions against us without really like analyzing maybe why they made the decision. Or
they probably were against it all along, and you didn't care enough to go and look into their profile, get to know them. And honestly, there was a lot of Facebook posts, or not a lot, but I'm sure there are Facebook posts of people putting memes up or saying bad things about this legislation or saying in general anything that goes on in the three well, I can only say in the two bodies, the executive and the legislative bodies, that they have all this thing to say and they didn't vote. You know what? For right now, I mean, directly to you type of people, and I don't care if you come up to me and say I'm wrong about it, but I firmly believe if you did not exercise your right to vote and you didn't vote for anybody, or you voted for someone and they didn't make, or if they did make it, I think that's great. As long as you voted, by all means, let's talk. Like, let's talk. Give me your vote sticker.
It sounds like more
I voted sticker, and let's see, and we'll talk. But right now, all you other people that are talking about all this stuff that's happening,
tell them, baby,
you didn't vote, dude. Sit this one out. Soak it all in and just talk amongst yourself that who also didn't vote. You can talk to them, but don't go on Facebook. Don't go on any radio station. Don't go anywhere to voice this out. Don't be public about it. Public meaning someone calls you out on it and says, did you vote? And you say no, then you shouldn't. Don't let those people.
You have no say.
Yeah, you don't have. You always have a say.
No, you don't have a say.
You don't
have a say. You don't have a say until the next election.
You don't have a say. You have a say, but you don't have those people who voted's respect. You don't have the, and you don't want. You always want to have respect amongst your fellow citizens.
Well put.
You always have a right, to go and say whatever you want. By all means, please. But the people who voted aren't gonna listen, and you're not gonna get the respect that you actually deserve as a voter, because you should go and vote. Right. I mean, I feel like that's last year that we did that, but hey, I'm still encouraging it. Go and vote for people that you don't want to be in. Go and vote for people that you want in there, and not vote for people that you don't want in there. Yeah. So that hey, go and get to know these candidates. Go and they're all open. You can go and talk to all of these people.
You can literally run into them.
And wherever
at movie in the park,
go to their office. Like you
can.
I know what you're referencing. Yeah. I remember.
You totally can.
Yeah, so you can, and you can talk to them, and they're open to talk. They want, these senators, all of them want to hear what you have to say. You can schedule a meeting in their office and talk to them about whatever issue you want. That's what I encourage them to do right now. Is if they're not gonna vote, that's who they should talk to about this. Go and talk to them, and please don't go and say,
hey, bro, but we're all subject matter experts, bro.
No, I don't know.
To this.
But they
especially the Facebook warriors.
Get to know them. You know? Get to know them. Don't tell them what's on your mind, but go get to know what each person stands for, or what their views on this thing. But don't say, hey, I think we should do this, because remember, you don't count, and you don't want that. If that person asked you, if that senator said, hey, did you vote? And you said, I didn't vote. I'm just, just get to know the senator.
I don't really care about that.
I didn't care at the time. I was busy that day, dude. You have 2 hours to vote. It's a law. You have 2 hours to go and vote. Right. No, but if you're a good worker, you're gonna go in the morning before work starts and vote, so that way you can not milk the system. But yeah, you have 2 free hours, and
that's why
2 free hours to vote.
You leave at 3 to go vote, eh?
You can do that, but that's fine.
That's what everyone else does. Anyways, before we get far off, I want to go to the cultivation.
Yeah.
We don't know how much marijuana is being grown here, and is it enough to spark industry? Is it enough for retailers to? Because is it spelled out that cultivators can be retailers, or are they?
You can have all of the licenses, bro. Why not?
Okay, based on the license that you pay for, right? Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna. Yeah. So you're gonna, just like here on Guam, you can be a wholesaler, retailer. I think that's it. When you're selling regular other products that you don't grow. So let's just not say about farmers and stuff. Let's just say you're importing whatever.
But farmers, you don't see them.
Yeah, I think you have to have a license, but
you
don't
still sell.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
okay.
You have to have those licenses.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely do, because
is it considered retail?
Because then that would be illegal. Anytime a consumer consumes something, you're at the retail level. So if this water that we drank, we're drinking, that was taxed, or someone had to have a license to sell it to us. It's a privilege of doing business, so that's how the business privilege.
So here you can buy all the licenses and be the cultivator, manufacturer, and retailer.
Yeah, why not? Why can't you do that? There's nothing that's gonna stop you from doing any of that.
Hey, Mike, can we get more water here?
Please,
thank you.
So yeah, there's there's nothing stopping you from being a wholesaler and a retailer. You can have both licenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, except that it depending on if the consumer takes the product or consumes the product, you're acting in the vicinity of a retailer because a wholesaler needs to sell to a retailer, and you have to pay the tax of doing business, which is the business privilege tax.
I see.
Yeah, we'll find this here and we'll read that business privilege tax because it's nice to know what that actually means because again you should read the law.
Not law yet, bill, right?
The business privilege tax
Oh,
law.
okay,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah. So that's what you should definitely figure out what that out.
Okay, when you find that out, I just want to put in some things about the cultivation, right?
Sure,
We don't
go
know
ahead.
how big. They know how much. So California, I read something that California produces 14 million tons of marijuana product per year, but they only consume 2 million tons per year. So they have a surplus
yeah.
of 12 million tons that goes to waste, which is why they're rolling
Thank you.
like 5-foot blunts and
cool.
machine gun joints and shit, right?
That's cool.
Like they
That's
have no
funny.
idea what to do with it because they can't ship marijuana across state lines because it's illegal on the federal level, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that sucks for them so much.
Yeah, and it sucks for Guam, right? Because we're gonna have to depend on everything that's already here. Now they're gonna stamp down on whatever
Wherever
it
those
is, right?
seeds are,
Yeah, wherever they're coming from.
they're coming from. That's
But-
funny because go ahead.
Because now they're gonna be on high alert of all the marijuana products that are coming in because now it's legal. Yeah, do you agree?
Yeah, because anything that comes in is illegal.
And
Yeah,
because
that's a problem.
because there's an intent to distribute
Chicken
at
or the egg, right?
at the retail level.
yeah, chicken or the egg, right?
Yeah.
Or chicken or the hen. Wait,
Yeah.
sorry, hen or the egg,
Right.
right? What? How are you gonna get those seeds? Where are you gonna? How are you gonna import them or?
Right.
Because it's illegal. You can't import those seeds.
It's illegal to import the seeds.
Yeah.
So how do you know what you're getting is of quality, right?
You do the test after. So that's probably how I kind of see it probably
Who's going to
happening.
test it?
Yeah, so there's a testing facilities in here. And then the question is like what are the basis of those tests? And I think that's where the board comes in to regulate
But there was
I'm going to go look at it.
Honestly,
I
they were
didn't
supposed
read
to-
that far.
They were supposed. Can you see if see where the medical marijuana referendum if they Oh no, cuz it was a referendum. It wasn't a
A
It
bill?
wasn't a bill.
What's the difference?
I don't know. I might be saying the same shit.
Yeah,
I think
possible.
the
People might think we're two dumbos
think-
fucking just talking
you
shit.
guys don't
Yeah,
even
hey,
know
that's
what the
exactly
hell
what
you're
this
talking-
is.
Yeah,
That's exactly what this is.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Having fun.
A referendum's like a vote, right?
Yes.
So the people were able to vote whether medical marijuana was going to be. Is that right? Yeah. So a referendum is a vote,
Oh,
and
okay.
people are able to decide whether medical marijuana was going to be legal or not on Guam.
Yeah.
And then they decided that we weren't going to put it into a vote whether recreational was going to be legal. We're going to actually make a law, right? Make a bill to put into law. So, no, you're good. You're good.
Psych. Thank you. But anyways,
Anyway,
yeah.
where was I at? I want to stick on this. I
Stick
don't
on
want
the
to lose where.
cultivation.
Yeah, I don't want to lose where I'm at just because I think it's important because it's the cultivation that's gonna spark the industry. How much are we producing for people to consume? Are more people gonna try to consume marijuana, including on the tourism level, or are people going to? Are we gonna run out of retail marijuana? Like our store's gonna be empty, right? Is the store gonna look like a cheap mom and pop store? Like, this is all we got. This is all we got left. The shipment from the cultivator didn't come through yet. You know, I feel like there's so many finer details that haven't been. Like very
definitely.
like hasn't been investigated.
That's
Right?
exactly right, man. I think there's a lot to study, and I think it's a good start. I don't know about the timing. I'm gonna remove myself from the timing of this whole. I don't like that argument, or I don't really like that discussion of the timing, because I mean it's never a right timing for whatever, anything really.
For sure.
So for me to say, I don't like talking about, is it too rushed? I don't know. Maybe it depends on which side are you on, I guess. But yeah, I think you can study it, and I think it can be studied a little bit better. But at the same time, if not now, when, kind of thing.
Yeah,
so I don't know. It's whatever.
I just believe there's no real education on cannabis. You
Well,
know, I mean,
here in Guam.
Yeah,
No, I don't.
People aren't
think so.
educated. People are basing their opinions on either their morals,
Life experiences,
the church, or the fact that
Or
it's still illegal on the federal level.
and reefer madness.
Yeah, and what in the '60s, the whole propaganda, whole propaganda era, right? So it's tricky, and I just think it's very tricky.
I think it's hard. I don't think at the other end of the spectrum, the super like, let's just go full, do all the studies we can do. We study, and then we put it out there, and then what? And then does that mean we're ready to go just because we studied it up? Is it nothing really will. Nothing actually comes to real good fruition, and then you actually kind of try and do it in a way. But this is, I feel like we're almost on the other spectrum where like we didn't study anything, and they're just gonna pass this crazy law.
And I guess people need to understand that this isn't it.
Yeah, this is not. Yeah, it's not it. Like it's not gonna just, okay, we're done with marijuana. Like we wrote the law.
Right. Yeah,
like, there we go.
We're good.
Done with that, and next. And it doesn't get solved like that.
Right,
it's not how it is. Everyone just needs to chill, and I guess in a couple of months smoke a joint, and then we'll come back and figure out what we need to iron out here, because you're gonna come through things where people are gonna be doing this doing whatever that's not inside the law, and then they're gonna write an amendment to that law, or they're gonna change the law, and it's like everything else, like whatever.
But how many people are actually reading the law or the bill?
Me and you right now.
Two of us. Oh, and Matt.
Yep, Matt. So going to the cultivation thing and the whole part about just, is this law written good or not? That's the question that
bill.
The bill, excuse me,
Right.
that's not a law yet.
Right.
Is this bill written good? I think it's pretty okay for now. It's all right.
Right.
It's not too bad. It doesn't cover everything. It doesn't cover nothing. It's kind of like, it's around there. Okay, I guess we'll just pass it.
That's what it felt like. It really felt like it's like, all right, let's just get this over with. That's just from my opinion of just watching the whole process, man. And I was very curious, and I really paid attention from the public hearings all the way to the third reading of the bill. It's like what is going on? What is going on? Why are we such in a rush to do this?
When should they do it then?
Because when we figure it all out, because all this, whatever's in the bill, is not the only thing affected.
Yeah.
You have tourism.
Yeah.
You have businesses.
Yeah.
Can you find this out? I heard this last night that Korea and Japan are going to start drug testing their citizens coming from here.
Oh. Is that illegal for them?
I don't know. I mean, we're not in their country. It might be legal.
Interesting.
Yeah. So how much is it going to affect tourism? How much does it affect business? Say you're a small business owner,
that's
right?
crazy.
Or
that's crazy
owner.
for them to do, to drug test them solely because they're flying out from
a
Guam.
place, they're coming from a place
That
where
sounds like
marijuana
propaganda,
is legal.
man. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That sounds like propaganda. If I could
That's
smell it
if was
across,
true.
if I could smell it with my smell detector, my marijuana smell detector, that. Side note: someone, I forget who put that in there. Someone tried to put that it was. Someone asked to put it illegal? No, never mind. I'm not. You watch those videos.
Yeah,
you
watch the
find
videos.
out.
We don't want to point.
Somebody said that
We don't want to point out
it should make it
senators
illegal.
in particular, but yeah.
And someone was like, "How can we make it illegal for it to?"
Now they're gonna
be
start.
smelt?
They're gonna start fighting us for our adult do.
Oh, it's good, but it's okay.
But
not saying that's good
okay,
though. That at least they were thinking that to say sorry. To
I guess.
you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to protect. They're trying to hide it. You know, they're not hide it, but they're trying to put it as far back in
from
the room
who?
as possible.
From
Whoever,
who?
who knows? God knows.
From who? I mean, from
God
kids.
knows. Whatever.
Kids are around cigarettes all the time.
Yeah.
What's
I
the
don't know.
difference?
I don't know.
You know, so I really think it shouldn't be the fact whether marijuana is good or bad.
Yeah.
It's how are we going to regulate this?
Yeah.
You know, it has this bad stigma on it for many decades, and society is changing and their mindset about it is changing. You see a lot of older generation being open to even just talking about marijuana. Before,
yeah, you
I'm pretty sure
not
before.
talk about it.
Wait, don't talk about it. What?
Whoa.
What are you doing?
What is that?
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
What? Like,
Matt, what's up, dude? It sounds like you want to say something.
yeah, can you say something?
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Yeah,
He has his own mic?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, feel free to interject, man. Please.
For sure.
Oh.
Did you see that? Is there anything on an article or anything like that, or is that just
Matt
something
reminds
I
me
just
of,
fucking made up?
I don't know. I'm not releasing anything here.
All right.
That Matt's voice reminds me of that podcast, one of the first ones with gosh, I can't remember who's on it, but it was the racing crew.
The racing crew.
One of the first 5 podcasts you did, and it had Ron Kabuhat's brother.
Oh yeah.
And then a couple of the other boys, and then they try to get Ron. So they tried to get Ron to talk. Man, he was the best. He was so funny. I like that. But he was so shy to talk. But man, when he said something, it was
when he started talking about
it was
Bernardo,
funny. Yeah.
his deer, Bernardo,
On the chain link fence.
on the chain link
Oh
fence.
man. Oh, dude.
Anyways, yeah, if you want to listen to that, that's episode
So
like 4.
Funny.
Let's use this scenario. Say you're a business owner, right?
Yeah.
You have employees. Now marijuana is legal.
Okay.
What as an employer or a business owner do you do to make sure that your employees are not showing up, to
Stoned.
to work? Yeah, high.
Yeah.
stoned.
So the law won't. So the law here won't. How the question to answer your question? How do they do that? The employers can have random drug tests. You can enforce that. That's fine.
So they can make the decision whether or not they can allow their employees to consume marijuana.
Let me give you I was thinking about this the other day. Let me give you a actual example. Paint a picture. You have a federal contractor or federal. You work for the federal government, right? It's drug-free workplace in the feds, right? So and marijuana right now is illegal, so that's going to be included on one of the substances that they'll test for. And so when you're a contractor, right, you have to abide by the same workplace requirements, and that's being drug free.
Right.
Now, if your workers are not drug free, those people are not drug free, then your whole contract could be thrown out the window, right?
Right.
You can't work or you might not ever work for the federal government again. However the situation goes. Let's say you have that, right? You need to make sure that those people are absolutely drug-free. Your employees are drug-free. Therefore, you're going to have to do the same things and test for the same substances, right?
Right.
You will make sure they're drug-free. Now you have, no offense to, but let's just take it to the other end of the spectrum. You have a lemonade stand or you have one of those food trucks. Or lemonade stands, shout out Toffee Lemonade. Or you have a hot dog. You have a
shameless
plug, right? You have a hot dog stand. Let's say Auntie so and so's. I don't know what's that hot dog stand or pokey stand, right?
Right.
I mean, are you gonna go and say if this guy's stoned, you're not gonna hire him, or that's very important that he's not stoned? I mean, he's selling food. Is that something that matters to you? That's up to you.
Yeah.
Whether or not, but I don't know. If handling food, you can't be stoned. I'm not sure about that. But let's just make it something else. Let's say someone's selling those fidget toys to parents or to whatever, right? You have just somewhere you don't absolutely need to be sober.
So ultimately, it should be up to the employer.
It is up to the employer. The law has it here that I'm trying to look for it, but it's written here where it says something about
hey,
like
Matt, control find on the.
it says
on the
something
bill.
about.
Stop calling it a law. It's not a law.
Sorry, the bill. Excuse me. If I say law, I mean bill in referred to this. I guess it's subliminally wanting it to be a law. I just want people to stop arguing about it already and just whatever. There's something in here. Yeah. But anyways, just search employer. Anyways, let's just keep going till he finds that out. Thank you. Please. Did I say please?
No, you did.
Here, employers driving minors and controlling their property. Here. No, it's gonna be under section 8112, chapter. You got it?
Bro, this might be the most thorough discussion.
It's cool.
Public.
This is upgraded.
Independent.
Good job, man.
Yeah?
I think we were talking about this a long time ago. I think you wanted me to do it. I was like, man, I want to talk. I'd rather talk. Thanks, Matt. But I didn't know you can
talk.
I didn't know you can talk and do it at the same time.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him more involved in this
That's
conversation.
cool.
here.
Yeah, Matt, what do you think? We're gonna ask
He's
you. I'm
very-
gonna call you out.
He's very soft spoken
It's
in
okay.
in his opinions.
You just when we ask you something, just be like Master Random.
Okay. Employers driving minors, driving, minors.
Driving minor.
Not driving minors.
Yeah,
Employers
driving
should
minor.
not be driving minors. Really.
Employers driving minors and controlling of property. All commas in between.
So, Section A, nothing in this chapter shall be construed or interpreted to amend, repeal, affect, restrict, or preempt the rights of obligations of public and private employers to maintain a drug and alcohol-free workplace.
Stop. So just soak that in. Nothing in here is basically saying that employers, can maintain a drug and alcohol workplace. Like basically saying, it's up to you employers if you want to test these people for marijuana.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Require an employer to, or semicolon, require an employer to permit or accommodate the use, consumption, possession, transfer, display, transportation, sale, or growth of cannabis in the workplace.
Pause. So what does that mean? So basically they can't, just because it's gonna be it, or just because it's saying that the employer, because it will
So
be legal. It's not saying that
It
the
doesn't-
employer
It doesn't require the employer
to
to
do
let
anything
them,
about
to
it.
let them use it.
Yeah, it doesn't
Right.
say yeah.
Right. It's
yeah.
legal, and since it's
Do what you
legal,
want
you
with
have
it.
to let have to let your employee smoke it. if he
Yeah,
wants to.
it's saying you
Okay.
don't have to do that. It's not requiring you to do this.
Okay. Or affect the ability of employers to have policies prohibiting the use of marijuana by employees or prospective employees in the workplace.
Right.
Okay.
So it's saying it's up to you, bro, what
Yeah.
you want to do with your workplace.
So all in all, it still gives the employers the
the choice,
power.
Right.
the choice and power to do this.
Right.
Or prospective
Uh,
employees, even
yeah,
people
keep-
are coming up.
Keep going down. I want to see the nothing is chopper.
What are you looking for?
I want to see what the driving and the
The driving is illegal. You still can't drive under the influence of marijuana.
Right.
So
So what determines?
How would they test?
Yeah. How? would
I
you
think they
determine-
have it existing already. I think I want to say it's in there. It's already, because it's federal. I think there's already. I want to say
Okay.
that there's already kind of testing kits and all that stuff to check if you're stoned.
Right.
I mean, come on, just look at someone if they're reacting slow, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, how do you?
Pupils dilated.
Yeah, driving 5 miles an hour. You
Right.
saw that video. Are they driving 5 miles an hour? I mean, a cop probably won't
waiting
pull you
for the-
over if you're driving 5 miles
Waiting
an
for the
hour.
stop sign to turn
Yeah,
green.
I
Right.
don't think the cops, under suspicion of endangerment or harming anyone. It's kind of crazy.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
So it's illegal. It's just put influence, just control F influence, and then you'll.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, there.
D, section D.
Yeah. So you can't. Yeah. So what's interesting? Yeah. Yep. So you can, if your uncle's. So here's something I didn't see in there in regards to the cultivator giving it to a consumer. I think if your uncle is like a farmer, I think he can just give it to you without charging you a fee.
or
because you're not
or,
selling it.
or sell
You're
it to you.
just consume it. You can't sell it. So, or probably, or in exchange for any other goods, that's kind of similar. I don't know if you can barter. See, there's the thing is, I didn't read all through it. I didn't see anything in there that said, shit. Excuse me, shit. Did I just find a loophole, or
What
we're gonna do? I didn't read anything.
Go ahead,
in
explain.
there.
I'm trying to wrap my head.
We'll look into it, but I think if you're a cultivator, we can go and look. Can you just give it to someone?
You can if you wanted to.
If you are a farmer,
It's the same thing as hiring someone under the table.
no, I mean legally. Can you just give it to them? Because you're not selling it to them. Like, let's say I'm your uncle, right? Or you're my uncle, and you're the cultivator. And hey, uncle, I heard you have the baddest marijuana on the island. Can I sample? I only need 3. I can only take 3 full-grown mature plants, though. So let me have it. Or I can only have an ounce of it at a time, dry weed. Can I just have it since you're not
Dry
selling it?
marijuana.
Dry marijuana. Can I just have that and just supply me for free? Because whatever, I love you, you love me, and that's it. I think
Right.
don't think that that's covered in there. I don't think so.
But should it be?
No, because
Because
a
it could be
gift. It could be
gifted.
gifted.
Right,
Yeah, it's just a gift. You know, it's not illegal. It's not illegal to do that.
Right.
It's within the law. You know, so that as long as it's for personal consumption. So that I wanted to go back to, cultivating it will change.
So should business owners be concerned then?
Business owners should always be concerned about
Interesting.
everything.
Agreed.
I think so. Yeah, I think they should be concerned. Should they be scared that, their performance is gonna be affected? I think that's a better question. Should they be concerned that marijuana is legal? No, I don't think they should be too concerned about it unless it's affecting their workers in the workplace. Then they have something, and they should have something to worry about in a way.
Right, because they're still given control of if their employee is high on the job.
Yeah, because you can test them if you want. That's freaking up to you. So should they be concerned in general? Yes, every time you should always be concerned. However, it depends what kind of business you have, and then that's where it's going to differ. If you're a federal contractor, hell yes, you should be
Right.
concerned. And I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair to be concerned that now it's legal. You should, strap down harder on your employees to take that piss test.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's what you mean, should they be concerned? Hell yeah, dude. They should they should strap. They should make it scare. They should make their employees scared. They'll lose their jobs because if they're caught smoking marijuana now that it's legal, doesn't mean you should do it just because, or not. It's not legal now, but in the future, if it's legal, you shouldn't do something just because it's legal. If it's gonna jeopardize your job.
Well, it just helps and I don't think legalizing it is gonna boost the amount of people who smoke marijuana.
No,
Right.
I don't think so
It's gonna be
either.
like, oh, it's legal. I'm a marijuana smoker now.
I think it'll increase. I think it'll increase the curiosity of, it's gonna be around. Sure, it's gonna be around, but at the same time, the strip clubs are around. I mean,
Right.
frick, if it's for you, it's for you. If you don't like it, you don't like it, or whatever. It's there.
Right.
Just think about that. There's strip clubs. What is the taboo? Not taboo, but all the things that are just whatever. The pachinko machines, right?
Right.
Is there still Greyhound? I didn't remember. Or pachinko machines. All the stuff that people hate.
Right. The gambling.
The
slot machines.
The slot machines.
The slot machines.
The slot machines and strip clubs and whatever else is there that are vices, considered vices to people. It's gonna be somewhat like that. You can have an addiction of going to all of those things.
Right.
It's really gonna be your foundation that is gonna help you through those things. And just because something is legal doesn't necessarily mean you should be doing it.
Right.
So all you parents out there, or soon-to-be parents, or Ninos and Ninas, aunts and uncles, really, if you're worried about that type of thing, then that means you're not close enough to your kids or your siblings or whatever. That's what that means. If you're really concerned that marijuana is gonna ruin their lives, you're not close enough to them. That's my thinking. That's my take on it.
Or you're just disconnected. I mean,
Right. You need to be closer. You need to be closer to your siblings or to your sorry, saying siblings because your sister right, and it's just the first name pops up. But you need to be closer to those people you care about that are young that you can influence, because you're gonna be the bigger influence than that marijuana will be, or that strip club, or any of those things. You will be a bigger influence to those kids than any of those things, because you can actually talk to them.
right.
But so that's my take on the social part about everyone's scared about it. I think that take an interest into the relationships that you're building rather than an interest of trying to prohibit something that is helpful to other people,
Right.
like in a medical way. Why are you concerned with that? Rather go and foster relationships with these people that you are worried about being accessible to marijuana, or marijuana being readily accessible to them. Have a no marijuana policy in your house. Fine.
Right.
Whatever. If you own the house, dude, you can control what goes in that house.
I haven't seen. Can you check on any of the news outlets if there's what the concern from, I guess, maybe Guam Chamber or even the medical?
Yeah, it was out there. They don't
Because-
like it. I don't know why.
Because I mean, you won't even find a doctor who would prescribe medicinal marijuana.
There was a doctor that was pro marijuana I forget who that was. I don't know.
Dr. Akimoto, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But because in fear of losing their license to the DEA or their DEA, some prescribing license, right, from the Drug Enforcement Agency.
I mean, I don't condone smoking marijuana in the workplace at all. I mean, if you're working for everyone, you shouldn't be smoking weed when you're working. If your workplace has a zero tolerance drug-free thing, you shouldn't be smoking weed at all, or marijuana. If your employer doesn't really care, or you work for a dispensary, or a retail shop, and you need to try your product, and your employer encourages you to try it, by all means, dude, it's up to your lawyer. I mean, it's up to your employer what their decision is. But if you have a really good employer that is taking care of you,
I think it's a recent news article. It's not the Guam Chamber.
If you have an employer that's getting you federal contracting jobs
or something,
and you have an employer that's getting you federal contracts, or you work for the federal government, or you work for the government of Guam, any of those places that have a zero drug-free tolerance, take that seriously, because you won't be able to smoke
and
anything.
I think
when you're done.
I think the legalization of it, it's to not make these petty marijuana crimes, quote unquote,
decriminalize
crimes.
it.
You just decriminalize it. What is it hurting anybody?
Yeah, that's a very good proponent for
And alcohol kills more
call it?
people every year.
Yeah, that's a good
than
point.
marijuana ever does. And is alcohol illegal?
Right.
Right.
From a business perspective, though, I'm interested to see. I didn't read up on what the chamber said, but I really like to see the business aspect of it, because I probably will side with the business aspect of it. I just haven't thought about it,
right,
or researched anything about it yet.
Yeah, I didn't read anything today.
I'm just kind of just going with more of a social type of thinking about it, and more of a social kind of analyzation of it. It's
Is this what you?
what?
I don't know what it's under. I saw it. It's check Guam Post, because PDN is a little bit
skewed in their stories.
I don't know.
I think we talked about that the last time you were on, right?
Those guys did. I didn't say much about. Yeah, I think it's hard to report. I think it's really hard to do what any of these reporting journal artists are saying. It's really hard because something happens and then you gotta write about it before the other guy does.
All right.
And it's you gotta make sure that what you wrote was correct. So it's pressure,
and
man.
It's tending to your readers too.
Yeah, and you're gonna get super you're gonna get torn apart by your readers if you get it wrong. I was trying to think of a big word to say, but I forget it.
Mutilated.
Yeah, you're gonna get torn apart by your readers if if you write something wrong.
Right.
Let me see. Anyways,
Anyway, everyone's pretty much against it on the business front.
yeah, I think, and I think in my business sense, whatever sense I have of it, I think it's probably not a good idea to pass this thing because you don't have a lot of the regulations and the restrictions. You don't have anything properly in place to regulate this from the business point of view.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to legalize something that doesn't have any business any positive business effects or positive business benefits.
Right. And if you're worried about people coming to work high or stoned,
I don't think that's it.
I don't think that's a problem because alcohol is legal and people can, if they want to, drink alcohol before they go to work and be drunk at work.
Right.
And
it's not a great idea.
It's not a great idea, but you can do it if you want to.
Yeah, you will know. The employer will know, and he will fire your ass.
Yeah,
but you can do that.
But
nothing's stopping you.
So
from
the same
doing
thing
that.
with marijuana, right? With the legalization of it, it's not the fact that my employee is going to come to work high. They have to make that moral decision of whether or not they should be going to work stoned or drunk or or lit up, whatever.
Lit.
Yeah. Okay. Oh no, we're on a different channel here.
I think Apple TV took over.
Apple TV turned on. Someone's laying on. Oh, someone. Apple TV.
It's one of those two.
I think it was Mama.
It's okay.
Yeah, we don't have to read up on any articles.
That's okay. I just
wanted to know what they were because I think I had Dr. Fred Schumann on the show maybe a couple years ago, and I asked him the same thing. I was like, okay, marijuana tourism, is it a thing? And he goes, no, it's.
I don't think so either. I think
people Asian countries won't come here to smoke marijuana.
See, that's the thing is that's where they could have done the study. That's where I agree. Like, I don't think you should say something like that. Don't say anything like, oh hey, the Chinese people are gonna come, or the Japanese, or don't say anything. Don't say that as an argument.
As a
don't talk about that.
Right.
Like, talk about how it's here and it's all over the place.
Right.
That's more of a better argument. Don't talk about, hey, you don't know because you didn't do the study. Hello.
Right.
Like, don't talk about that stuff. Don't say on anything that you can at least socially.
On any official record, right?
Yeah, just say socially. Like,
and if I'm not mistaken, it was placed on official record that it could help.
Of course, it could also hurt it.
Marijuana tourism, yeah, it could.
It could also hurt it.
It could.
But saying that it's all around, are you gonna deny that it's all around? Come on, the guy brought this. What's his name? Brought the weed into the legislature.
He tried selling the 50.
That was stupid of him to say, "Do you want to sell it?" But I think he just kind of said that as a joke.
I wish we can play it.
It wasn't. I don't think that was serious. He wasn't trying to sell it. Come on, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, but he still brought an illegal substance.
I think it's funny. I think it's not funny.
An official courtroom. I mean, that could have been a gun. What if this was on a gun issue, and someone's like, okay, well,
that's different. You can kill someone like that.
I mean, but it's still someone. There still has to be some sort of restraint in the fact that you're coming to officially testify.
Well, here's the question: Why isn't there a
like a guard or a?
Why don't you have the pat down in the front?
Right.
You don't. We went there and there was no.
You just walk right in.
We'll just walk right in. I think they should. What do you call this? Have a
metal detector.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Oh yes. Sorry. Can we put that in their recommendation to you guys? Please have a metal detector thing. The whole works up there in the front, just like how you have at the court.
Right.
That's startling. But anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to get on that ASAP. I'll have the tax dollars. I'm down for the tax dollars.
Somebody walks in is like,
some crazy.
Yeah.
I
don't agree.
I hope that never happens. Please, Guam.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I shouldn't have said that because but it is a reality that people face, right?
Tomorrow they might have those detectors. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, you know, where were we going with the guy?
You mentioned tax dollars. I want my tax dollars to go to it. Okay, so now
Tax dollars go to the metal thing,
So,
the metal
okay,
detectors.
all right.
But,
But
anyways,
now
we can talk about that.
now you have tax dollars who potentially go to certain things. I think 10% to the
Yeah, they have it.
behavioral health.
They have it.
Pull it up in the
somewhere.
bill,
Please.
Matt, please.
There we go.
It's
It's appropriation here somewhere.
yeah, appropriations or
It's hold up.
So anyways,
Yeah.
they're divvying up the percentages of the revenue of marijuana, of the revenue of the tax dollars to different programs and agencies to help support them.
Cool.
So now, how do we know that money is actually going to go to it? Because just last week we found out that the highway funds that you pay, the highway fee that you pay at Rev and Tax, has not been going to any highway funds.
Mind blown.
How do we know? How can we trust it?
I purposely didn't say anything. Purpose.
No, it's a tough thing to really like believe
Yeah.
that yeah, the tax dollars are going to go to it.
Well, because we have to pay salaries. That's the biggest, right? Well, I don't know, whatever. That's probably in any agency the biggest expense is the people. So,
Did you find it?
Not yet.
Control F.
Yeah, put like 10%.
Or it's in the back. It says the control policy or control fund. Cannabis control fund created. I'm not sure if it'll. It might be it might be that they have to go and figure it out later. They have to figure out where it's gonna go. Anyways, I think we can.
It's fine.
Why don't we can talk about ideas about where we think it should go. Where do
Okay,
you think
sure.
It should go?
Yeah.
Where do you think it should go?
What, the bill itself, or
Where do you think the
or just
where do you think
the
the funds
future?
should go? Where do you think the funds?
Oh, the funds. The hospital, man. Of course.
I think so too. I agree.
it should. It
That's
should.
the first place.
I think the largest percentage should go to the
yeah,
hospital.
I agree.
But
agree.
I don't even think the hospital was on there.
I'm not sure.
It's going to. I know Guam Behavioral Health. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was Guam
Reverend- is
Behavioral
Reverend
Health. It
Tax
was
one of them?
police. I think police, law enforcement.
Law enforcement.
It's all the
I saw
things it's all the things that like have to do with trying to regulate the whole thing.
Right.
If
But they just took
driving under
but
DUI.
they you just took a pie and you sliced it 10 different ways, and now you're only getting of the
know
5
what I
million.
think?
Now you're only getting 1 point.
I feel like
Now you're getting less than $1 million per
agency.
agency
Yeah,
per year.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I think you should have to the most dire need of money first. Like you could use it to totally like circulate. You go like hospital for 5 years, fix crap at the
That's a
hospital,
great idea.
and then move over to whatever is it the schools that need help because because if you're doing it that way,
I think
you
that
just wait your turn,
that would be funny if it's going to DOE.
huh? Why not?
I
Why
know.
not,
I'm
man?
not saying it's wrong.
Wherever,
but it
whoever,
just would
everybody
be,
gets
It
a
just would be
chance.
kind of funny.
That'd be cool. Everybody would
It's like
get
marijuana's paying for the education of
It's
the
gonna be
children.
like a stipend, or stipend, a stimulant, injection into the fund, for the for and then it could work like this, man. You could be like, if the hospital's gonna get it for, let's just say, why don't you say this? Every governor should, or every candidate elect to be governor should state where their marijuana fund's going to be for the 4 years that they're in. That's going to be their campaign thing. Like, hey, what are you for? Where do you think the marijuana?
Like a state of the island, but then you
not a state of the island, no, but like, hey, I'm running for governor, right? Okay, so the question they're going to ask, so where is the marijuana fund going this term and why?
If I was, I wouldn't reveal that because I'm going to lose voters if I take away
That's
a
the
percentage.
point. That's the point. So you have to have you're gonna go to where? But the thing, what's gonna happen is everyone's gonna say the same thing. So you're gonna, everyone's gonna be like, oh, hospital.
That's the risk you run.
Yeah, right. So whatever. It's obviously it's gonna be the thing that's most on fire. But anyways, yeah, I don't know if that's what they should do. That was just kind of funny. Just wanted to throw that joke in there. Like, no, that's not gonna work because everyone's gonna say the same thing. But yeah, I think it should go to like hospital, maybe for like wherever the whatever. Maybe you can vote on it, or you can have the lawmakers decide where it should go to each year, or whoever somehow decides for 4 years or for X amount of years it goes there. Then after that, we go back to the drawing board, and it's gonna go to the next place that needs it.
Right.
Yeah, because then a little injection, to any agency will be good. And like you said, divvying it up into like small pieces, you're not gonna feel it. You're not gonna feel the effects of the little pieces of. You ever eat a crumb? You know, like
Or a thin crust pizza.
ever eat. There's nothing wrong. Those are good.
Dude, they cut those shit
They're
in
crisp-
squares,
they're
bro.
crispy,
It's like,
bro. You don't have to get it in squares, by the way. They just cut it in squares. You can cut it. You ever been to Pyology?
oh yeah.
Sorry, I don't like mention. I just went
Shameless
there.
plug.
Pyology has cuts.
It's actually a really good place.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because they fucking pack on all the fucking veggies.
they had to take out their all the discounts though, because they realized they weren't making too much money putting all that. You open Pyology on Guam and you're like, you can't offer unlimited.
Can you put can you just put some extra sausage? A little more.
I'm just gonna make it's really a pie now. It's definitely a pie. It's like
1 layer sausage.
I'm gonna eat
1
this
layer
shit.
of mushroom.
I'm gonna eat this shit for days. But depending. But yeah, I load my pizza up, by the way. Jerry hates it. My girlfriend hates it when I load it up. It's like I'll eat it and like it's like a mountain. Every time I'm eating it, like it's
falling
heavy.
off already?
The front part's down, so everything just fell onto the freaking the box. And I try to eat it. Now it's just bread and some sauce.
It's not a good.
Just take a spoon
It's
and
not a good advertisement for them.
yeah. No, it's great. Take a spoon and eat it with a fork, and now it's like what?
You turn your pizza into
Now it's
taco.
You know what you call those? That's lasagna.
A lasagna. You're
I
not
don't
wrong.
know.
You're not
I
wrong.
guess. Well, it doesn't
I
have
feel
the
like
pasta.
though, Matt, how long we been going for here?
Been going
2 hours?
for an hour 47.
Ooh. What a brisk
That's not
conversation
long.
here, man.
We haven't really concretely talked about anything.
I
which
feel
is
like
cool.
we did. I feel like we nailed a couple things.
Yeah, we read the parts we read. We got correct.
Right. But I think there is a lot to learn, and
Yeah.
I'm obviously not educated on this bill
Me
or
neither.
any
Me
cannabis laws throughout the United States, and I just feel personally it was rushed through, and we shouldn't be rushing through the process. A process is a process. We just have to trust that. Yeah, right. Trust the process.
Yeah,
And
some will say not the politicians.
right. So
That's what some people like to say. I don't know.
Is there anything further though that we need to go on to just sort of nail the coffin?
Yeah, you know what? I wanted to the part about the personal use of cannabis. Can we just touch just a little bit about
course,
that, because
of course.
I think that's gonna be the biggest.
I got time if you got time.
I got time. My girlfriend's here, so we're not going anywhere.
Cool.
That's cool. I don't have to.
Thank
be
you,
here.
Jer.
Did we eat? Who cares? We'll eat after. We eat some cannabis when it's legal. Just kidding. That was a joke. Anyways, the personal use of, so let's say, you know how you said if and when
Can Matt reference this? Matt,
Yeah,
can you reference this
yeah,
on the screen.
801, just put 8103.
8103 section,
Yeah.
subsection.
This is cool. I want to go through most of this part of the
Sure. Yeah.
the bill, because this I think is going to be the biggest you're going to see this in the biggest change, or how do you say that? This, you know how we can't go and buy it, but we're going to be able to cultivate it ourselves in our own houses.
Mhm.
So I think that's going to be the biggest change that you're going to see within your own house, or within your own household, is going to be the personal growing and use of cannabis. Because you're not going to be able to buy it. It's going to take all this time to do all the applications for the board to figure out how the sale of it's going to be taxed, or where is
Right.
it going to go to. Just control F 8103
or personal use.
or personal use. There it is.
There.
So personally, so this is to me, this is going to change. I think this was really a big something we should talk about is What are people going to be able to do? Because ultimately, it's a recreational marijuana bill that they're trying to
You might as well say weed.
weed. No, because
Oh, it
it's
is cannabinol.
cannabinol. Okay. So personal use of cannabis, notwithstanding any other provisions of law except as provided in this chapter. Basically, the following acts by persons 21 years of age or older are lawful and shall not be a criminal or civil offense under Guam law or be a basis for seizure or forfeiture of assets under Guam law. Sorry, I think I skipped a couple words there. Possessing, using, displaying, purchasing, or transporting cannabis accessories, 1 ounce or less of cannabis, 8 grams or less of cannabis concentrate, or any cannabis-infused products containing 800 milligrams or less of tetrahydrocannabinol. So you can have an ounce of marijuana in your possession. You can display it.
On your dashboard?
No, because you can't do. Well, actually,
Yeah, you're
no,
transporting, right?
there's more. No, you can't do that because there's something that says you can't have it in public view. So yeah, I don't know if you can, but cannot. But there's something that says it shouldn't be in public view.
Oh, growing it can be in public.
Yeah,
I think it needs to be locked and secure.
yeah, locked and secure. Yeah, it has to be locked. Basically, it has to be in the locked in your house.
Just
and
keep reading.
stuff.
Just
Anyways,
keep reading. Yeah.
possessing, growing, processing, or transporting no more than 6 cannabis plants with 3 or fewer being mature.
Flowering
Plants, mature flowering plants, and possession of cannabis produced by the plants on the premises where the plants were grown, provided that the growing takes place in an enclosed, locked space, is not conducted openly or publicly, and is not made available for sale. Should I keep going? I think we should. I think that's like the gist of what I kind of wanted to.
All right.
One more. Transferring 1 ounce or less of cannabis and immature cannabis plants, 8 grams or less of cannabis concentrate, or any cannabis-infused products containing 800 mgs or less of THC to a person who is 21 years of age or older without remuneration.
I feel like 800 milligrams is a lot.
It seems like because it's an ounce or 8 milligrams. So can we go back up? I'm sorry.
Sure.
So that was the biggest part that I wanted to go over, was that people, now you can be able to basically have a room in your house that is cannot be seen by the public, and it has a locked door. As long as you're 21 and over, in a closet somewhere or whatever, you can grow total of 6 plants, but 3 of them can only be mature, or they say it can produce the bud, right? The flower of the plant that you take into your system to get, whatever. So you can have an ounce or less of that, or 6 plants. So when this law passes, or if this bill passes, then this is the biggest thing you're gonna see change. So you know how you're saying, does anything happen? Yeah, dude, this part I think is the guts. This is the hugest part that I think is not being ignored, but it's kind of, I don't think this is talked about as much. You're hearing about the sell and the stores and all that, how it's readily accessibly available because you can go buy it. Actually, it'll be accessible. And how long does it take to grow marijuana? 6 months or 3 months, 4, whatever?
Oh, no, I'm not experienced.
I have
grower.
no idea. I am not an I have no idea. Cultivator, bro.
Cultivator.
Right. So Google that and on your own time. And how long does the average take to do plants? So once she signs that thing and it's forget what you call it, but once it's in effect, this is the law. Put into law, and it's legal that next day, dude, by golly, you know what? You could have plants right now growing illegally, but as soon as that passes, if you have 3 of them, dude, it's legal. It's not going to say you have to wait. There's nothing in the law, right, that says you got to wait. As if it's illegal right now, you're taking that risk. But once it's matured up, that's it. You'll have that.
So would you be considered a if you distributed home personal use lighting systems to people for personal growing, would you be covered under this bill?
You're only doing lights.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
You're still distributing it.
But only the lights.
So you don't necessarily have to say they're lights for marijuana growing, just plants growing.
But why would no? There's I see what you're saying. No, you're just selling what is it? Lights. That's it.
Right.
Is that was that? I don't think that you're just selling lights.
Okay. All right.
I'm thinking
just
of it
asking-
in a way.
not-
I'm
yeah,
thinking of
just-
it like, dude.
I'm just. You know.
You're right. Throwing it out. I because you're only gonna be looked at if you're selling the product, the actual marijuana, right, or whatever product, marijuana product. But everything about the marijuana product that you're using to cultivate it, like that could be used for whatever else,
Right.
right? Because you're not producing. But see, if you're mass producing more of it, then how would that justify anything of being? How would that justify you breaking the law? Because you're just making it for. I mean, dude, there's nothing. You can go and make the crazy. Well, yeah, you can't make the craziest moonshine, right? That's illegal. It has to be a certain, right? So here you can get the industrial lights for your own little 3 plants that you're gonna have the best system
Right.
for your 3 plants, but you can only have that 3 matured plants, 6 of them, or 6 plants, 3 of them matured.
Mm.
You can't have more than that.
So this will.
So it's up to you to have the baddest. You can have the baddest setup.
So this
bro.
will be the biggest significant change.
I think so. For me, I think this is more important to discuss right now. For those people who don't want it and the people who want it, that's the biggest thing, because it's gonna take forever to do all the other regulations on selling and commerce of the plant. But as soon as this comes to, it doesn't say you don't need to go and have a license to grow, right? It's not. I don't think it's anywhere in there. It only has this. So right now, you can start buying all your stuff. But then where's the seeds
gonna
gonna
come
That's
from?
the part that's funny, is I didn't see anything about seeds, which is cool, because there's an assumption that the
You can
seeds.
take it down, Maddie. You're good.
Thank you, Maddie. There's an assumption that the seeds are there.
Right.
And, you're not going to import them or whatever. They're just going to grow. And I think what's going to happen is, I don't know. I think you'll have the seeds. You'll plant them. Then you're going to do all these tests. You have these people come in these tests and figure out what seed you actually have. What strain of cannabis did you get? And that's where you're going to have the competition start to see. There's going to be a lot of competition is trying to figure out what
strain
and which strain you have, because right now it's a seed and you have no freaking clue, because there's no regulation on that seed,
and there's no lab.
there's no regulation on that seed, right? So let's say they get it from heaven, the so-called quote heaven of seeds, wherever that is, right? You have this
From heavenly seeds.
heavenly seeds, right? So you can't. So here pops up a seed. Oh, this is the best, right? You don't know until however 3 months from when that seed is full grown, and you test the strain. I don't know. Can you test a seed? Yeah, if there is a way you can test the seed, and you're gonna have to take that risk as a cultivator to figure out, hey man, is this seed gonna be the best product on Guam? That's gonna be the biggest thing. But I don't know. Whatever.
Well, we shall see. We shall see first. If
I don't wanna
if
really
this
give
thing
a
is
lot.
going to be put into law, we shall see.
Yeah, I don't want to give any
Um,
people ideas on what they should and shouldn't be doing. They should read the law. That's what they should.
Yeah,
do.
don't
read the
like
the
we
bill.
said. Don't depend on us. We're not experts. We're just kind of just reading through it and kind of just putting an analytical take on how we see it, and
just purely personal, like how I see. I wanted to give kudos to and good jobs to all of the senators that have sat in these hearings and in these the bill debates on the bill, the discussions, because it's not hard, man, to be up there and make sense of all this information, then make a decision on whether
it's
or not.
not hard or it's hard.
I mean, it's not easy. Excuse me.
Okay.
It's not easy to do this type of thing, and whether you agree with a certain senator or not, or even the governor that's going to be signing or not signing or vetoing or whatever, it's not easy to make those decisions, and it's definitely nice to see that they're all at least actively participating
No.
and they voted. So go out there and vote, man, and vote next time. But for this
That's all
time,
boils down to
it boils down to that. To
being
be
a
honest,
fucking citizen.
yeah, go right now. Don't say anything to anybody that votes, but just go and vote next time, and please kindly, just refrain from participating in official discussions or even Facebook discussions.
If you're not a voter.
If you're not a voter, if you are a voter, hey dude, let's talk it up. Sure. Did you vote?
I did.
Obviously.
I vote all the time.
Everybody I know voted in here. Maddie, you voted, right?
Yes.
All right. I know Jerry voted. We all voted, and it's fun. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to see. It's cool to vote and get the person you wanted to get into office that you voted for. It's nice to see them, and it's nice to see that they followed what they said they were gonna do. And if they don't, maybe things have changed. Why don't you go in and talk to them again and see what happened? Things change. Things change and views change, and you might have thought you were for something and you didn't realize a new point came into came to your desk, and like, hey, I didn't know that, and you now have a different view about it. Like, we could be singing a different tune a year from now, and
agreed.
Who knows?
Agreed. Agreed.
So, I mean, I'm always open to that.
Yeah,
so.
everything that I said tonight might just be completely wrong.
Yeah, I might be completely wrong too. I really want to see the business side of it.
Me too.
I
Very
was
curious.
I was just reading
Even
the law.
even the tourism side, I would like to really see it. So, just to conclude this discussion, veto or sign into law, what's your choice?
What do you think?
I don't know. Just say it.
Me, veto or sign into law?
If it had to be, if a decision had to be made right now, and you were sitting with that pen, would you veto it based on everything we discussed tonight? Would you veto it or sign into law?
I think.
Or do you think it should be vetoed, or do you think it should be signed into law?
Somebody said the governor should just not do anything.
Yeah, it'll lapse.
Let it.
It'll lapse into law.
So she said don't. Someone said don't sign it or just let it. Just don't do anything with it.
So what's your opinion?
If I was the governor, I'd probably do the same thing too. It's a good political move to just let it lapse into law, because whatever. It's not a bad political move. I think maybe.
I'm with veto.
Veto. I think as it is,
I feel like
I think it could be written a little bit. I think it's greatly written. I think it could be written a little.
I didn't read through the whole thing. You had
the first parts I read. I think you could. I think it's great written. I think it's a great start.
Wait. So okay, there's a difference between greatly written and great start.
It's a greatly great.
It's a great start to a.
It's a great start to a
greatly written
yes,
law.
Exactly. It's exactly. I don't want to say. It's very hard to write these things, man. It's hard to get every single thing, but as it is, I think you can. I think you can iron it out later.
How later,
hard,
though?
man. It's
how
hard.
later? How later? Though? So
you're right. I think so.
So you're with the lapse.
It's such a. I'm so torn.
Let's keep it two. A yes or a no. Let's keep it a yes or a no.
I don't know, man.
All right. I say veto. I feel like we haven't done enough research, and the main reason why.
I'm torn.
The main reason why, maybe it's not the research. The main reason why my heart's sticking with veto is because we haven't figured out the medicinal side yet.
I agree. I agree.
We voted yes to medicinal marijuana, and we're still 4 years later. We are still trying to figure it out, or it hasn't even moved from my understanding.
Okay.
And until we have a set regulation for the medicinal side, is when we should start to decide whether recreational is the right move for us to do. Because stateside, how long was it medicinal before it became recreational?
Right.
It was medicinal for, I think, about 10 years in California. So it's
gosh, man, it's so hard to say. I agree with you, man. I really agree on that. I'm kind of upset, not upset, but I'm just kind of like, what the hell? I guess not upset. I mean, like, yeah, definitely. Why don't you figure out they should figure out the medical side,
Because it still doesn't do anything for the medicinal patient. People who need it, who need the medicinal aspect of marijuana.
Yeah, where are they? They're left out, right? In a way that yeah.
It's like, all right,
What
let's
about
just,
but like, you forgot about us. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
about us now? Okay,
because they
I
still when they make that board, they're still gonna have to
do the
consider the medicinal side of it.
You know what? That kind of sheds some light on it. I'm all for you know, hey, I'm all for this type. Like, if it doesn't bother me, and I'm okay, do whatever you want.
I don't
like
see,
that part.
I don't
like
see anything
that
wrong. I don't see anything wrong with marijuana.
I don't.
know,
I don't.
and
It doesn't bother me.
I feel
Whatever.
like-
I
feel
don't
like
know.
The statistics that have shown is that it's less of a detriment than what alcohol has done.
Yeah.
know,
If you're gonna compare the two,
and the criminalization of it was a self-interest back in the 60s and 70s.
yeah.
With the paper mill, because hemp was what's the fucking word I am looking for? Hemp was
Use normal words.
compromising.
It was
threatening
Yeah.
the paper industry. So that being said, I am for veto. Until we figure it out, and then when we figure out the medicinal aspect of it, then we can start considering recreational marijuana.
I
But
kinda-
I am not a lawmaker, and I don't make those decisions.
You know, that's a very good take on the, that's a very good, I didn't know about that part of the whole timeline of the medicinal, and they dropped the ball. I kind of wondered what happened, and then here comes recreational, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Fucking guns a-blazing.
guns blazing, like, it's like, I'm thinking, do they have more people who are telling these senators or that, hey,
Because I'm thinking,
But
yeah,
it-
I'm
which
thinking
is
the
cool.
idea behind having people grow their own is if
I like it.
you're a patient, if you're someone who needs medicinal marijuana, you can go grow your own fucking medicinal marijuana.
yeah, if we're gonna compare it in that
But
way,
if I was a real patient who needed medicinal marijuana, I wouldn't want to grow my own marijuana. I don't have time to do that. I want legit medical
yeah,
grade marijuana for me to go and pick up from the store or delivered.
yeah, I see. Yeah, right now, as it is, I think if this medical marijuana was included part of this law, I'd say pass. If that whole thing was iron, if they included the medicinal part, whatever they need to do to close it off and put medicinal and recreational in one bill, I think you have a winner.
Yeah, I agree.
But I feel bad now that you say that. I kind of feel bad for the medicinal peeps out there, the medicinal patients that also are left. They're left
You
out
feel like
of
it
this,
kind of went out the window?
or whatever the case may be. Like, you know, but I do think I am on the side for pro. I would have to. If I have to say both. I don't think it's it's as bad as people say it. It's from God, because it's from God and it grows in the ground and all that stuff. I like that argument. And the whole thing about alcohol, the deaths from alcohol and bad decisions that are made from alcohol. I mean, bad decisions from weed are like, nah, dude, I'm not gonna get off this couch to go eat that cheeseburger over there. Actually, no, I am. Or wait, no, I'm not. Okay, I don't know. So, you know, but I think there's nothing wrong with recreational marijuana. I don't think there's anything wrong. That's an all-encompassing statement, but having all the bad things that have been said about it, I think they don't outweigh the good or the absence of bad.
For sure.
That's kind of what I think. You know, if I had to say anything about that, but I don't know if I would. Man, maybe veto. I guess veto. I'm kind of changed. I was pro for it before you said that. I was so like, yeah, this bill is great, but include the
bill as it stands.
as it stands.
As it stands.
Without the medical stuff, without any mention of medical at all, you probably should veto that thing, because you need to include the medical in there. you gotta include that part in.
Yeah, there's no bills.
I didn't.
For
We
the
didn't
medical
talk
side,
about
right?
that. We didn't talk about that.
I brought
before
it up.
this.
I brought it up briefly. The
Mm.
medicinal side.
But not that it should. It should also. No, the way you put it, that was different. I never thought of it that way. But yeah, they can somehow put an amendment to include the medicinal part in here. They should, and not be worried about the fear of the whole thing.
Maybe there's a medicinal bill that we don't. The compassionate
Coming
act.
up.
Isn't
Is it coming
isn't it
up?
the
But they pass a lot of stuff real
the
fast.
conception what's his name, Savage K's
They passed a lot of stuff. Remember
the compassionate act, right?
You remember the 21 years and older from 18 to 21 for
Right,
alcohol? They
right.
changed it in overnight. I
Right.
mean, like, so
Right.
what? Now it's this. So now, see, I'm on the other side. Like, you just pass it. Because how did they pass that thing without studying it and all that stuff? They just, so somebody, I remember that. Somebody got hit on the side of the road and there was like 5 fatality or like fatality after another. All DUIs in a row. And all of a sudden now they're going to, without doing any studies or whatever about alcohol or all this stuff, evidence.
It's evidence. That's what.
Okay, yeah. So that was the evidence, right? Okay, yeah. So, but I mean, without further looking into,
And plus
Well,
the
they're
whole
all-
and plus the whole United States of America is 21 and over, right?
yeah, but the whole right, whatever the case is,
Hmm.
they did it quickly. They did it the same amount of speed, just because these things are happening. You know,
But it's
One after another.
it's the taboo behind marijuana, right?
that's what
So
I mean. If marijuana was like not as seen as taboo as much, if it was like, what do you call those things? The
vape
the
pens?
vape pens, right? Those are kind of like they just legalized it fast because it wasn't taboo. But here you come marijuana, and they kind of make you.
It's a better
somewhat
alternative
high.
to cigarettes. Passed.
Yeah, no, it's like, why are cigarettes still illegal?
Right.
You know, it's a weird thing.
Right. They're just gonna keep raising the prices of cigarettes until people stop buying cigarettes.
Going to, it's addictive.
Oh.
You know, so I can tell you, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, I was a cigarette smoker for many
I kind of funny because I want to say pass it. The part of me wants to say pass it because I want to see
So you're okay. So you're a split decision.
split decision because here, let me tell you the passing part. I want them to pass it because I want to see how everyone reacts to it when it's passed. Like, you know, I want to see the experiment go on. Like, I want to see, okay, we passed that law without doing any of these
So
studies.
now what next?
Yeah, I want to see
Okay.
how the community will like react to this kind of thing. That's the
Okay.
cool part. You know, I want to see how they'll take the trial and error type of. I'm gonna call it trial and error. Like we said, we didn't study it and all this stuff. I'm kind of interested to see, like, okay, so how is everybody gonna react once it's passed? Like, I just kind of want, like, what's it gonna be like? It's history, dude. It's
Right.
it's kind of weird and exciting. It's actually here on Guam. Like, this thing is
happening right
it's
now.
happening. So
Right.
it's like, I want to be alive to see that kind of. It might not ever pass while we're alive, or you know, if it doesn't get passed this time, like, who knows?
I
if
think
it's-
I think it'll pass before we reach a decolonization
Dude,
decision. To tie it back to the beginning of our conversation.
you don't know that, but we don't know that, right? We can't for sure say that that's gonna happen. So that's part of me is like, dude, let's just, holy shit,
Yeah.
let's see if Guam can actually pass something that's just seems to be so far in our reach. It's like this weird,
I see what you're saying.
you know what I mean? I just that's a part of me that's just like, oh, dude,
Trial by fire.
let's just see what happens. But at the same time, I do think my analytical side wants to be like, dude, we need to study this and figure out how it's gonna actually work. Like, you know me thinking about this, like, I like to think things completely through. Like, let's figure this all out and then we'll do it.
Right.
But you're hearing this, fuck it, let's just pass it and see what happens. You
Right.
know, so
It's the way it's going through is what's fishy to me. I'm
yeah, because
wow,
it's the
this is
first,
kinda
because it's the timing. It's the first thing that they're gonna, that the first big controversial
like,
thing that they're
I
putting
mean,
in
they were
law.
taking a bunch of bills. And I'm like, all right, motion to move it to the end of the line. Yeah.
They need 2 gavels.
It's like,
Okay.
end of the line, end of the line. We're
Yeah.
trying to get to 32 already.
Yeah, they have see the thing that pisses me off. They have other pressing issues, and
Yeah.
you know, I saw the media trying to put the hospital reaccreditation, or was it not reaccreditation? It was
They were about to lose it or something.
lose something. The Medicare, right?
right.
They're gonna lose the certification or whatnot, or eligibility, whatever. But I don't think anybody read that thing because they didn't post anything more about it. They just
Right.
posted something like, "Oh, they're looking optimistic."
Yeah.
Like, did you just post that in there to?
Well, that's media,
Take-
right? They're gonna talk about the big ticket item
It's
rather
crazy.
than all the other shit.
Well, they tried to take away. They
mean,
tried to stir that up. Try to stir up.
How far has Simon, the rebuilding of Simon Sanchez, like simmered down? It's like,
I know.
you don't really
It's
hear
so
about it
crazy.
anymore. That's about it. Anyways, let's fucking end this, bro.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
I feel like no,
It's great.
Not bad. I feel like we had a great discussion.
that was good.
And anyone who's listening, like we said,
We're
do not take our word for
yeah.
it.
Go read the bill.
Yeah,
and,
read the bill yourself.
This was just thoughts on our what we thought about how
Yeah.
the bill.
We're not
was.
even political experts.
I have no idea about politics too much. Really, I have no idea. It was just.
Yeah.
It's just this was just cool to be part of history or to be almost part of history and to like read this thing before it goes in. We'll always look at this podcast and be like, "Hey, dude, we actually cared about
Right.
what was written in this thing."
Actually
I know maybe it's the
examined
start of it, but it's nice to be interested. That's the whole cool part
Sure.
that I thought about this episode, man, was that we're interested about
Yeah.
this and
And
more-
it's not, honestly, I'm down to do this again.
yeah, we should.
Anytime something comes up, we
Yeah, this is
make
cool.
it
We
like
should.
like a new series.
It'd be cool. We could take this law or whatever or the bill that they're coming up with and actually read it and see how it's cool. It's cool. Just have people go and be active in the community in terms of going to vote, talking about it,
Yeah, understanding
caring about
understanding
what's
what
going on there.
government's doing, man.
Yeah, I think that should be the focus of this little segment here. Is not about whether we think this bill should pass or not, or whether it should veto it or whatever.
Or whether our opinion matters.
Right,
not,
or
right.
whether we're right or wrong. It should be more about go out there and talk to your senators or talk to your elected or
Your
soon to be
lawmakers,
elected,
right.
yeah. Or if they're gonna be up for election, go talk to them, get to know them. Or go and see how the whole system works instead of just reading
What
the
the
media,
news, right.
what the media comes out with, or hearing it on a podcast.
Right.
Go out there and look at the hard materials because right now you're stuck.
Or
you're-
show up to public hearings.
show up to a public hearing or listen to it on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, they
They turn off
they
the live
stream-
chat though, man.
yeah, that sucks.
I want to see that.
Me
That
too.
would be dope.
Me
Turn
too.
that,
Me
please.
too.
You should turn that on.
And just the fact here, I'm gonna state this. Just the fact that I think at most that I saw watching with me the live feeds was about 60,
Under 50.
Yeah,
About 50 average.
50
30
average,
30 is
right,
like
right.
30 if it's kind of boring.
Right,
or like-
and I was like, wow, 160,000 people on this island, and 50 people are watching this
Yeah.
live as
Yeah.
it's going down. Like, that's fucking mind-boggling to
yeah,
me.
50 people. That's
How-
0.00000 like 1% of the
How-
population.
Yeah, figure this out here.
What was it? 50 out of 200. Oh, what's it? 100? 200
let's
some,
go.
right?
Let's go 180,000.
50 people. 0.0002777%.
That's less than 1% of the population paying attention live as it's happening.
Sorry, 0.027.
Oh,
Sorry.
less than 1%.
I forgot to times it by 100.
Less than 1%.
0.02.
Okay,
Sorry.
but didn't really change
I had a long
the
day,
yeah,
man.
didn't
I
change the
was
results.
Getting something there.
But yeah, good stuff.
Okay, cool, man.
Thanks, bro. Let's fucking do
Awesome.
this.
Yeah,
Do
let's
this
take
again.
another interesting.
Yeah, let's take our WhatsApp group chat discussions
Live.
onto a podcast. Yeah,
Cool,
maybe we'll
man.
stream it live next time so people can actually like chime in.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I like live better than
Yeah.
this. I like live is good because it'll take us to another direction and stuff. That's cool.
Cool.
Dope.
Matt, any final words, Matty?
That's the random.
Final words, dude. Any shameless plugs you want to put in?
Yeah, not really at this time. Hit me up on Instagram or don't do that actually. Just kidding. No shameless plugs. I don't want I'm not representing anybody or any other companies or nonprofits or anything like that. Just simply trying to have fun on this podcast and it's pretty dope. I do want to say go and vote and don't say anything for the next 4 years and 2 years if you didn't vote for any of the senators or please let us keep respecting you, fellow voters, man. Please don't go and talk crap if you didn't vote. That's it. Please go and vote for the next time. You have to wait for a little while, but that's okay. Talk in your privacy of your homes to the people who didn't vote as well. And then after that,
Tell them to shut the fuck up.
use this time to get to know the senators now. Use this time to go and get to know the senators rather than talking on social media. Go talk to the senators and ask them, ask them how you should get started.
For sure.
To be talking. That's it. That's what I think this message should have been to those people. Thank you guys for listening. And it's pretty dope to be on this show again. And yeah, good job, Master Random. This is fucking awesome. This is super, super cool, man. Proud of you, bro. This is cool.
Hey, bro, you
like the mics the most.
You help spark it. So
it's cool, man. Good job, Boo. A lot of kudos to Boo and Matt and Dill and Kai. Because they allow you guys to put this here.
Right. Takes a lot of convincing sometimes.
And thank you, Jerry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shout out to Jerry. And hi, Mom.
Hell yeah. Thank you, everybody. Maddie, anything else? Come on, say something nice.
That's random.
That's good.
Thank you, everybody,
Thank you.
for listening to another episode of the podcast, My Homie TVille. If you want to listen to him on other episodes, he's like in the previous, in like the first like 50, you can find spurts of you.
870 or something like that.
Up to like 70s or something like that. So, yeah, Tone's been a part of the podcast family for a long time, and it's nice to bring you back and have like these kind of discussions.
Yeah.
I feel like shit we've been waiting for since we first started. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and
Been a
so
while since I've been home. You started like 2-3 years, and then I've been here for 2 years. It's only the second
4 years.
podcast.
4 years.
4 years
Already. 2015.
So yeah, 2 years. I was there for the first 2 years, and then
Yeah.
it's been 2 years since I've been back.
So come back on
Yeah.
more.
Sounds good.
We won't wait 2 years.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Maddie loves you. I love you.
I love you too.
And TVille loves you. Until next time. Peace out.
I don't like that camera angle, dude.
Why?